Trollord Games. Join the fray.
Alright, welcome to Pools of Narrheit, our Castles and Crusades actual play game here on the Trollord Games Twitch channel. Okay, so I am your Castle Keeper tonight, and my awesome players are going to introduce themselves. Let's start with Matt.
How's it going, everybody? Thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Matt. I will be playing the Primal Druid, Trip.
And Richard.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Richard, and I will be playing the roguish Mist Elf Maul.
And Robert.
I forgot to say I'm a gnome.
Oh,
sorry.
A gnome, yes. He's a tiny, tiny gnome. I mean,
tiny gnome.
Upstanding, tall gnome.
I'll be tiny. I'll be tiny. People can't see me.
Yeah. Robert.
Robert here, playing Rickman Sourbeard, a Dwarven Rune Mark.
And Alex.
Hey, I'm Alex, and I'll be playing Bert Longfellow, a Halfling Rogue.
And last but not least, Chris.
Hey, hi everybody, I'm Chris. I'll be playing Grimble Oathborn, a Dwarven Warrior Priest.
Alright, and who wants to do a very fast recap?
I guess the fast ones are my specialty, right? So the party refreshed from their journey, started out for the gem mine. The group reunited with their pack mule, whom they lovingly named Daisy. The survivors who travel with us, surveyors who travel with us, are Balak and Rico. Along the way, we talked about an old halfling farmstead in the center of Hollow Forest. The survey said there was a fire that killed the elder halfling there, and that brought about some discriminatory comments from Balak about halflings are less capable than humans. So Trip was telling him ghost stories about halflings haunting him. Coming out of the forest, the PCs found some berms that had some cut grass in front of them with some tricky magic from a ghost sound. We made two of them pop out and saw that they were goblins shooting arrows. We positioned ourselves around one of the berms and waited for him to pop his head out while Jake circled around like a madman on horseback, trying to draw their attention, which they all popped out and fired at him and missed horribly. And he dove into one of the holes that we believe skewering a goblin, but we kind of lost him after he dove off his horse, or fell, whichever the case may be. After an exchange of arrows, the group kills two of the goblins and closes in on the remaining holes. After a horrible back-and-forth battle of many missed hits, Jake just finishes them off with a sound burst, and the party was successful in exterminating the remaining goblins. We collected 8 short swords, short bows, and knives. Balak, with his obvious disdain for short demi-humans, played a joke on in the middle of the night by Jake, splashing water on him. And keeping an eye out for the old road leading to the mines, we took shelter and bedded down for the night. We found a path that was about 150 years old and it split, but we found some skeletal footprints by the junction and a sign that says Craystock Mine, and we left at the entrance to that mine.
All right.
Yeah, now that I read it all, Jake was on fire last game.
He was.
Yes, it was.
Tired himself out. That's why he's not here tonight. Not really. So I'm looking up an image of something because I know I'm going to have to show it to you during the game, and so let me just oh, here we go. That's a good image of it. So okay. So right now you are standing in front of a sign that basically says, you know, Craystock Family Mine, no entry to unauthorized individuals, keep out, danger, etc., etc. But Alex, when he was tracking the skeletal footprints, he tracked those skeletal footprints all the way to the entrance here, and it turns out that there are footprints going into the mine, excuse me, crawling over the barrier, and then also it looks like coming out of the mine. Now what you see on the screen here on the map is so let me get my pointer here. This right here is the barricade. It's easily movable. It's just sort of some wooden standalone barricades. You could actually move them to the side. This passageway goes in here. These squares are 5 feet squares, 5 foot squares. This is all this black line here. This is all rock wall because you're kind of going into the side of the mountain. Okay, so this is a cavern-like entrance. This looks like a door right here. If you're standing sort of over here, you can see this door, and this passageway keeps on going. It's just that your vision doesn't go that far, so you can't see all of that. It is... It's about... it's just before noon, probably, because when you got up, you broke camp, and you traveled from where you had camped over to where you thought the old road was located. Right? And that was sort of at the edge of that regional area where you could look south and you could actually look at what we know as Goat Hill. If I throw up the regional map here real quick. So Goat Hill down here in the sort of lower right-hand side. And then just north of that, if you go directly north of that, there's a little, looks like a little stand of trees, but remember the hexes on this regional map are a half-mile wide. So that's actually a little bit of a, 1 mile square forest almost. So it's a little bit of woods. And your pathway, the road, kind of went into that stand of trees. But you stopped on the edge where this elevation line is, and you let the surveyors work for a little while. And so it's probably noontime, or maybe just before noon, by the time you followed this entire track in here.
And is there anything on the ceiling of the tunnel, and do we hear anything coming from inside?
You do not hear anything, and there doesn't look to be anything on the ceiling.
I'm going to look expectantly at Maul.
Okay. I will give the barricade a once-over for traps.
Okay.
After you, my giant friend.
Ooh, that'll be a 6 prime.
That barricade has no traps on it. You're absolutely positive of it.
Okay. So, up and over the barricade.
Are you going to move them, or are you just going to hop over it?
I'm just going to hop over it.
Okay. You can do so easily.
And then once I'm inside, I'm going to listen. Do I hear any noises coming from the tunnel?
Currently, no. You still don't hear any noises.
Okay. I'm going to move down to the first, that junction, and take a peek around the corner. I will do so stealthily.
Okay.
And that will be a 5 prize.
So Trip is going to crawl under. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Trip is going to crawl underneath the barricade, since no need to hop over it. And I'm just going to follow. Maul, you're up closer, right? You're up by the door? Yeah. I'm going to follow opposite wall with my bow drawn. Also trying to be quiet.
Okay. So this part of the mine, you can tell that it's been worked. And this area here that on the side where Maul is, right here where the door is, that door is actually a wooden door in a wooden wall, even though everything else is stone. So in other words, this opening was here, and they worked the stone so that they could then put a sort of a wooden, they could build a wooden temporary wall in it and put a door in it. And the door has a sign on it that says Craystock Mine Office.
Okay, good. Are the footprints going in any particular direction?
In and out.
But, are they going towards that door, or are they going forward?
No, you know what? There aren't any footprints going towards that door. All of the footprints are going sort of in and out of the mine through this main passageway.
Okay. What's over on the other side?
This over here? That is another door. And then this passageway up north keeps going. Trip, what are you doing?
I'm looking at Maul to see if he wants me to light a torch. And, do you want some light? I whisper quietly.
That'll be fine.
I'm going to spark up a torch.
Okay.
And then look to see where Bert is.
I will move up to that door to the office.
Okay.
And check it out.
Okay.
Wait for Bert!
What's everyone else doing, and what are you doing with the horses and the mule, Daisy? And what are you saying to the surveyors? Because they are pretty loudly objecting to crawling over the barricade.
Grimble.
I'm going to let Reckman handle the surveyors.
Tell them there's nothing to worry about. There's a sign there that says no authorized personnel and no danger.
How sturdy is the barrier?
It gives you the feeling that it's for show, right? You could easily just move it. It's kind of one of those those very sort of thin, almost sawhorse looking kind of barriers. It's a little more built up than that, but it's really just to make it so that people know that it's there and they don't accidentally go into a place that's owned by someone else. It's not really a barrier that's meant to really keep anybody out.
Got it. Okay. We can't tie the horses to it. All right. So
Yeah, they could drag it away.
Grimble will actually take his horse for now and lead it. He'll kind of crack through the barrier and lead with his horse. and move in.
So you've taken your horse into the mine?
Into this point. At the
Okay.
beginning. He'll be peering down the corridor.
Okay.
Bert was halfway trying to scramble over the barrier when he sees Trip just casually duck under it and kind of realizes that's the way to go. So he's going to follow Trip in there and head up to maybe just kind of that first curve, or the first curve on the left-hand side, and take a listen and look.
Okay.
I didn't even think to ask what kind of barricade it was. I was thinking the exact same thing you described, where I just duck underneath it.
So the door here on the left-hand side also is in a sort of almost temporary wooden wall. It's not a stone wall, although the walls of the passageway that you're going through are stone because they've been basically dug into the side of the mountain. But there's a makeshift wall there with a wooden door in the middle of it as well, and there's a sign on that says General Supplies.
Does it look like footprints are going in and out of this door, or are they just carrying on down the main?
They're just carrying on down the main road.
Yeah. As I go in there and take a look at that door, and then I hear Balak complaining outside, I'm like, eh. And start moving up this direction. Trying to do so as quietly as possible.
Okay.
Again with an 8. Try. Well, that dice diddly. It's still from last week.
So the room that you're in opens up quite a bit. I'm not sure how large your vision is, but there's that for starters. Make this a little easier to see here.
Okay. Do I see any of the critters? And where are the footprints going?
So, what you see is the cavern opens out. Is that yellow line how much light is being given off?
Yeah, I just threw a torchlight on me.
Okay. The large cavern here is. Let me reduce the size of this here so the audience can see it. This large. So Maul sort of walks up, and just at the edge of the torchlight, he sort of walks forward a couple of steps and gives a few seconds for his eyes to adjust. And what he sees is a very large cavern opens up here. On the far side over here, these three large items here are actually mining carts. Okay? And the passageway here actually... Let me just open that rest of that up here. So the passageway, darn it, this thing isn't always the easiest thing to work with. The passageway here opens to the side over here, and these three mining carts. There's also a bunch of tools up leaning up against the walls here. There are a lot of boxes and bins and barrels and different things stacked up over here. So basically this is a large storage area. This right here is another door, and this right here is another door. Mm-hmm. And over here is the passageway continuing on, and you see some railings on the ground where one of those mine carts would possibly go.
Okay. Hey guys, we got mine carts. This will be an easy way to get down.
So, can we leave Jake and the two surveyors out here with the horses?
Sure.
What I was going to essentially do is hand the reins of my horse to Jake and tell him, hey, watch the surveyors and Daisy and everyone else's horses.
Jake looks at you and says, "There's skeletal footprints, and you're leaving me outside."
You just don't seem yourself today.
Someone's got to protect Daisy.
Yeah, so you can leave him out there, and he can appease the... so whoever just erased all of the... You need to hit undo. Whoever just erased the entire drawing. There you go.
I was trying to move the yellow light, but I don't think I can move it.
No, you have to erase it, but you can erase it just the yellow light with the eraser instead of the trash can.
Got it. All right. Sorry about that.
No problem. Freaked me out for
close.
a second. So also that note, you can actually move that note. That yellow thing is a note.
Oh,
So,
that's going to find
yeah.
I didn't do that.
So yeah, and I think if you press on it, you can type into it or something. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so so you leave Jake outside with Daisy and the surveyors and all the horses. And Jake tells you he's actually going to go a little bit away from the barricade and from the opening. That way, they can hide in the forest, and he can accompany the surveyors as they make their actual surveying maps and all that kind of stuff. So that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and what would you all like to do?
All right. So Grimble, realizing everybody's staying, the house is out, we'll go and take his back and then run back in. And hand his horse to Jake.
Okay.
Trip is very keen on... Go ahead, Rickman.
Rickman's going to see if that office door is locked or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trip is very keen on opening the door to the left, but I was waiting for Bert's okay.
Yeah, I can go check it out.
Grimble will have his crossbow ready as Rickman checks the door.
I'm going to move up to to this door. Any sign or anything on that?
Sorry, just had to write myself a note. Okay, so which door are you at?
The first one actually inside that room.
Okay. So that door has a sign on it. It says housing.
Is it lock? Is there a lock on it? Does it look like there's anything?
There is a door handle.
Okay. I'm just going to give it a check for traps. A 6. Prime.
Rekmit. The door is locked.
Bert got a 17 prime to check for traps on the door over here by Trip.
You don't find any traps, but that door is also locked.
And we got an 11 prime to open it.
I got a 9 prime to open mine.
Neither one of you is able to easily open the lock.
Okay.
You're pretty sure that you could, one of you or several of you could get together and really easily break down the doors.
I was going to say, could Grimble and Rekmit break it down between us?
You're pretty sure you could, but you'd be doing damage to the door and the wall.
Well, maybe I don't make too much noise in the beginning.
Yeah, and I mean they haven't been going. The creatures haven't been going in and out there. There's probably nothing in there of any value.
I want to look over, bird over my shoulder. Hey, do you want to try and unlock this door for me?
Yeah, I can give it a go. Well, that was a little better. I got a 12 prime that time.
You unlock that door.
Yeah, there you go. That was enough.
I'm gonna move up to the next door. Is there a sign on it?
This one here.
The next one up.
You're
Where my
at the
character's at.
You're at the most upper one. Yeah. So there is a sign on that one. It says Foreman.
I'm gonna try to unlock it. I'm assuming it's locked. Or let me check. Is it locked?
It is locked.
Oh, there we go. A 15 prime.
You unlock that door.
Okay. I will open it.
So the so that door opens into a room that is roughly hewn into a sort of square shape, almost. Kind of.
Yeah. Anything in there?
It is obviously an office, but so it has a desk and a... Dang it. It has a desk and a... It has a desk and a couple of chairs. It also has some extra chairs against the wall, and then also there's a bed and a little dresser, a sort of armoire kind of thing. There's a couple of sconce holders in the torch holders in the wall. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I'll
there's
over.
there's nothing really left in it. You can tell the bed's kind of been stripped.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no papers or anything on the desk, then I'll basically come out and close the door.
Yeah, nothing looks like it's been left in there. In fact, it looks like they were able to, they didn't leave hastily. They were able to pack up and go ahead and get everything out.
So, do these carts look like they would move?
Yeah, they have wheels on them that are roughly the same distance apart as those tracks look like.
And we'd have to push it, though, over to the tracks.
Correct.
What's the floor like here?
It is stone, dirt, and rock, so it's pretty
It would be
uneven.
a mess getting them over there.
Yeah.
Mark's going to go ahead and pull open the office door, take a peek inside.
Hey, Bert,
Okay.
Before you do it, make sure when you open it, you stay behind the door so Grimble can look inside it with his crossbow or bow or whatever he had.
That's a good call. As long as the door opens outwards.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to do the same thing, staying behind Bert to help him.
So what are you doing special?
Just so when the door opens, we're not like standing in front of the opening.
Oh.
If we open it up so that we're behind the door. Basically, no one's in the opening other than Grimble standing out with his crossbow or something. Just in case something came shooting out, it wouldn't, take out the little Bert. Care about Bert.
Bert appreciates the concern.
Okay, so the office is a mess. It has 2 or 3 different desks in it, and several sort of square pieces of furniture that look like maybe they were kind of makeshift file cabinets in a way. And this room was more hastily left, it seems like, than what Maul found in the other office. This one had obviously had several people that would come in and out of it and use it at any given time. And you can imagine that at the point when someone said, okay, we're leaving here, pack up all your stuff, no one wanted to claim it. So because that meant more work to pack up this particular office. So there are papers and different documents and whatnot strewn about the floor. The desks have, the drawers are kind of half open and some of them are closed, and some of the chairs have been knocked over. There are quite a few extra chairs in there. It's a mess. It could probably use a good organizational sweep.
I'll have a wander through, start picking up some papers, seeing if there's anything of interest. Catching his eye.
So most of what you pick up are ledgers of who was working that day and how many hours and how many pounds of rock was moved and how many gems were pulled out. The records in this case are very old, so as you start to pick up these pieces of parchment, some of them just start crumbling in your hands.
Okay. Is there enough information that Grimble can tell whether this was a good mining operation or not? Were they pulling out a substantial number of gems?
For the information that you've got in your hands, it's impossible to tell. If you wanted to find that out, you probably could, but it would probably take you 2 or 3 hours of going through the paperwork.
Yeah, no, never mind. I'll kind of casually toss whatever in her hand on the floor.
Okay. Oops. What is Trip doing?
Trip is just waiting over there and see if Bert's going to come back and unlock this door for him.
Look, I really tried, Trip, alright?
Then Trip futzing about back there. Well, we'll come unlock the door or try to unlock it. Yeah, that'll be a 21.
Okay, that easily opens that door. This room is a relatively small room, but it is small and square, and it basically has shelves lining every wall of the room, and there are a couple tables in the middle, and it has various different pieces of equipment on it. So, in one corner there's a stack of extra wheels for the carts. There are several picks and hammers, lots of shovels, lots of saws, hand saws, and some lots of little torch holders, and just full of equipment, but it's very standard equipment that you might expect to find in a mine. Nothing that looks out of the ordinary to you with your knowledge.
The first thing I'm going to do is check the ceiling to make sure nothing's on the ceiling.
Okay.
And then I'm going to give it a once-over for anything interesting, keeping a particular eye out for any kegs of gunpowder. Do they have gun? No, never mind. They don't have gunpowder.
No, there's no dynamite or black powder in this case.
Wrong
Wrong
era.
You really don't find anything all that spectacular. In fact, it's kind of weird that this door was locked, because it doesn't really house anything that's all that important or expensive, although there is a lot of equipment in it, so perhaps it's just the idea of keeping it safe in bulk more so than the value of any individual piece.
Ball's just going to watch from the door.
Okay.
This one's empty. There's some supplies in here, but mostly mining equipment.
Yeah. One up there was empty that I could open. The other one, I don't know. Probably going to be empty too. It says it's a living quarters, so probably just bed frames.
I will go across to the office and look for a map of the mines.
How long do you wish to look?
I mean, a map of the mines would be quite handy. I'll spend 20, 30 minutes on it.
Okay. You don't find a map of the full mine. You just find some sort of weak sketches that just show that the mine is not actually very large. Based on these drawings, there's not a ton of rail going into this mine. I mean, it's still a large operation, but it's not something where, you see 12 levels and there's, miles and miles and miles and miles of track. It looks actually relatively moderate in terms of size. It's definitely not a large mining operation like something that the dwarves would sustain a whole civilization on or something like that. But you don't really find it. It looks pretty straightforward with a main rail line and a couple of offshoots. That's really all it's showing you. But so it's very simple.
Okay, and the skeletal footprint for going back to the northwest by the rail, right?
Right.
Do you want to follow on down the rail?
I guess so. Grimble will move up and see what kind of move up to the edge and kind of look down with his vision.
Okay. This rail actually just simply goes down what looks like several dozen feet. If not several hundred. It's hard to tell. It gets really dark as it goes in. The ceiling actually gets lower. This particular cavern that you're in has 25, 30-foot ceilings, and all the rooms that you've been in have 25, 30-foot ceilings. Now, the openings for the door where the fake wooden walls are, they were only about, the opening there was only about 10 feet, but the ceilings themselves in all these areas have been 25 or 30 feet, whereas when you start going down this track, it reduces down to 8 to 10 feet. So in comparison, it starts to feel relatively claustrophobic.
Okay. So, all right. So,
but it looks like it keeps going.
Given the range of his deep vision, Grimble will want to kind of keep ahead, just a little ahead of the light.
Okay.
He can see like 120 feet. So he doesn't want to be like miles in front of the party, but maybe just 10, 15 feet in front. And be looking, scanning the walls and the ceiling, making sure nothing's like lurking at the top.
I'll keep pace with him and do the same.
Okay. All right, so...
Stay right behind him in case they need some assistance.
So let's switch maps here.
It's all about framing, guys. It's all about framing.
Trips over there by the mine carts. Is there any maybe little gems that dropped out by any chance?
You roll me a wisdom siege check.
All right. It's a 16 on the dice, and so that's going to be a 18 prime.
You find in the bottom of some of these, in the bottom of one of the carts, is some flakes of what looks like a greenish ore or greenish gem type chips that have come off over the years. You can gather those in your hand, and it's probably a little bit more than a handful.
I will definitely collect those. I'm going to light up a candle real quick on my porch, drip some wax over the pile of them, and make like a condensed ball of wax gemmy stones.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that pretty quickly. It's only going to take you a couple minutes for that. Otherwise, everything looks inordinately clean. You can tell that since this is a large staging area, so probably this is where, the entrance to this entire area and the cavern, or the passageway here, if we look down here at the passageway, this is 20 feet wide, and this wide passageway stays very wide all throughout this entire sort of lower floor here, or this entire entry floor. And, that gives you the idea that this big staging room is probably where, when they were bringing gems and stone and all that stuff out of this mine, they would load it onto large carts. But there's a process to that, right? So probably they were bringing carts out, and you would think, Trip, knowing what you know about people, you would think that there would be something that fell off or got dropped, or just residue, kind of like what you already gathered, but you would think you would find handfuls and handfuls of that. If this gem mine was working all that time that the Baron said it was working, it seems so. In other words, feels like it's been cleaned up.
I think someone was here after the Baron. It might have been working the mine. I'm going to show the flakes to Rekmit to see if he can identify if it's like emerald or whatever they may be.
The question is, did he hear that? Because he was out of the room.
I'm sure he wanted me to look at those flakes of whatever he found.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you come up where we are, because did we start heading down the tunnel already?
Yeah, Rekmit, look at this. I found some flakes of a gem.
Where did they go?
Can you identify what gemstone it is?
Let me take a look at it.
Very easily you can identify it.
Yes, I know what it is.
Oh, are you going to tell me?
He'll tell you as soon as I tell him.
You just asked if I could. You didn't ask me to tell you what they were. Obviously, I know what they are.
I don't know if you heard Samuel Rekmit, so you would think that there would be more handfuls of like mining dust and more gem flakes and stuff like that just from people dropping them as they're working, but it looks like somebody's been here after the Baron as has kind of cleaned all the valuables out.
Given there's undead here, and the undead have been associated with, what, Narrheit? Or something along those lines? And they always seem to have some kind of green light. Might be similar to this green gem flakes. Or maybe that's what they were collecting up. And maybe they use it for somehow. Trip, it's just malachite. Word pause.
We're waiting for what the gemstones are, right?
Oh, you didn't hear me?
He must not have heard you.
What?
I said, Trip, they're just malachite. Did you hear what I was saying about the Narrheit and all that other kind of stuff, or was I talking to you?
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay.
I just don't know gem. When you said malachite, yeah, I didn't even know what that was.
Google.
All right, so we're gonna do like a rogue on either side of the tracks here and start making our way down.
Yeah, so I can actually, well, I'll wait and show you in a few minutes what malachite looks like, because you'll probably start seeing more of it. I mean, unless you turn around right now and leave.
Yeah, that's far enough. I think we're good.
Down the mine.
Is that a suggestion?
No.
Let's go where he did not plan for tonight, guys.
Okay, so you're going to continue down that same passageway with Maul and Grimble going first so that they can use their extensive night vision or dark infravision.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's switch maps here. Which means you're going to have to throw a token as soon as this loads up.
Bert's really the only one that needs light, right?
I know I'm a halfling. I can see relatively well.
Oh. So we don't need light at all, do we?
Yeah, I think it was just Jake that needed light, but he's out with the horses, so...
Yeah.
It's got plenty of light out there.
I will extinguish the torch then.
Okay. So if everybody wants to go ahead and throw a token onto that map, that is the continuation of the... Suddenly my drawing got a lot better.
Yeah. Wow. I love the way you just threw that together and put it on there.
Okay, so...
Reckman's tiny.
Yeah, what happened to Reckman?
Yeah, Grimble and Maul probably be either side of the track. Definitely looking all around right as we move forward, so checking ceilings, walls.
Alright, so... Let me, So, why don't Grimble and Maul go ahead and give me a... wisdom check. Because as you're getting deeper in here...
Oh, Grimble got a 12 prime.
Got a 5 non-prime.
Okay. Grimble, you hear... You can see a little bit more of the track here now. Grimble, you hear what sounds like pickaxes hitting stone.
Oh, interesting. Grimble will move forward a little so he can kind of see all the way down. And he can't see anything, he can just hear it. Does it sound like it's coming from further down to the west? Or does it seem like it might be going up in the cutting?
It sounds far away. It's kind of hard to tell.
Okay.
It's reverberating off of the stone, so it's really hard to get an idea of how far away it is at this point.
Okay. So Grimble will keep moving down, given that skeletons have been moving down here, up and down here. Grimble's not too worried about traps at this point, so he's just kind of like walking down.
I'll move up with Grimble.
Alright, I forced it to redraw the map. And it should draw it with a grid this time. Let's see if it works. There you go. Now you get a better idea of distance.
Okay.
5 feet squares?
5 foot squares, correct.
I'm going to come around here to the corner real quick and touch Grimble on the shoulder, and whisper a sharpened senses prayer over him.
Ooh.
Okay, and what's that do for him?
That is going to enhance a single sense on the
Grimble, would you let
recipient.
us know about that?
But I let who know about it? Me? It sharpens a single sense on the recipient: hearing, sight, touch, taste, or smell. Oh, and smell. Recipient gains +1 to checks involving one sense of their choice.
Okay. Will help my hearing.
Okay. So when you get around this corner a little bit, you see that there is a branch in the rail. And Grimble, you hear those sounds coming from the left and up to the north.
Ah, okay. The Grimble turn around for part of there's mining going on. They'll point up there and in front.
Can
The
you
mining
make out how many picks there are?
Oh. Grimble will move up to here and see if he can see what's happening up here. See how many peck ticks may be going.
Okay, so let me...
He's got 120 foot in terms of vision, deep vision.
Yeah, let me get rid of some of this fog here.
24 squared.
Let me reduce the size of the map here so the audience can see. 24 squares, you said? Yeah, so you can... Other than the angle, you can basically see in this entire room. And unfortunately, what you also see are skeletons picking away at the walls with little pickaxes.
That's kind of what I thought might be the case.
From your vantage point, you can see 6 of them.
Grimble will kind of relay that. Hey, there's 6 skeletons in here.
Samuel, I don't know if you noticed, but we lost Richard.
Yeah, it looks like he dropped.
He'll probably...
He'll
probably... Say that again?
The super sneaky stealth mode.
Yeah.
He's too sneaky.
Let's take a 2-second break to let him get back on, because I don't want to start combat without him. So let's do that, plus I need some more tea. So very, very quick break, not even a 10-minute break, just like 2 minutes, and then we'll be back in. So.
Okay.
Right. So how do we want to handle this? Well, he's getting tea, we can mastermind it.
Okay.
It has no armor.
Right.
Yeah, Bert does
Or has
okay.
very
But
little armor.
got a fair amount of hit points at least.
I have some.
Okay, did you figure out what you're gonna do?
Yes, we're in analysis paralysis.
Uh-oh, that's no good.
No, I believe we decided we're going to try and go and check out the other area to determine what the forces look like. If we can sneak past these guys and not be noticed.
Okay,
Sound like what you came up with, guys?
Yeah.
so that means
And I think Maul's token flew off to the left when he got disconnected. Might have to grab another one, Richard.
No,
Yeah,
here it is. I brought it back. So I'm gonna need a stealth check from everybody then, if you're really gonna try to sneak past.
Why don't just I go? Because I've got that cloak, because I'm actually pretty good at the stealth checks here.
Yeah. Just say the rest of us can stay here and keep an eye on these, and you can kind of sneak up and see.
That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
take a peek and report back.
And
So I got a
just, you know,
17 prime on the check there.
a lot more of the map is showing on Twitch.
Oh yeah, the see-through is on. So on Twitch, it's the shadow isn't on, Samuel.
Yeah, I know. So the audience can see,
Ah,
Oh,
right? And then I can turn
Okay.
it off when. No cheating.
Guys.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't put the creatures in there until you see the creatures anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But so Bert's gonna go by himself then. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep.
Yep.
And I got a 17 on the hide check there. That's
Okay.
equal.
Is everyone else backing up, or because Grimble is actually within vision of if anything is heard, that any of those skeletons that turn around will be able to see Grimble.
Well, I would probably want to move up that far wall where I could see in there to kind of be watching Bert if anything happened, so I could maybe assist him and do a hide in shadows.
Okay, I'll need to check from you then as well.
Grimble is actually just going to stay silently there. He's going to watch them. They're far enough away.
Okay. So give me a hide check from Maul. Did we lose Richard again?
No, we might have. That was a better way to do it.
Technology is wonderful.
Yeah, when it works.
I don't know. It must be my wife.
We heard you for a moment there.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out.
Say it might be his Wi-Fi.
Cut off Wi-Fi.
So if you can hear us, type I need a hide roll from you, and go ahead and type your result into the Discord if you can. Because we can't hear what you're saying. You're very choppy if we hear anything at all.
was a nice roll.
Okay. All right. So the situation is Bert is moving up the sort of northernmost wall, and Maul is moving along the southern wall to kind of support that movement. Okay.
Reckwit is going to put his hand on Grimble's shoulder and kind of like try and pull him back out of view of the skeletons. Sort of like he does with Jake moving around.
Grimble, are you going to move?
No, Grimble is going to keep still there.
Okay, so Reckwit does leave him then. He backs up a little, so if Grimble has to tuck back, he can come back.
Okay.
Right.
Without running me over.
He's just going to... He wants to keep an eye on those and make sure they don't come
The
firing
only
out.
problem, Grimble, is if they turn, they will see you.
Well, that's okay.
Do what you're going to do with your 3 hit points.
There's better than the way.
Okay, so Bert and Maul, as you move past this area here, right here, you notice there's a break in the wall. It's not an actual official entryway. It's just where there's just a break there. Probably a small individual could get through there, but probably not a large individual. You see also up north here, there is another split in the tracks, and there's an official opening to whatever that cavern is. Now, when you look in here as you go by, you see some friendly skeletons making some changes to the walls, let's say. So the question is, how far north do you want to go?
Probably go up to about there. Can I hear picks coming from the north still, or just the ones now to the south and then east?
You still hear picks coming from the north.
I will go ahead and head back and just let everyone know that there are some skeletons pretty close by in that little opening. And still some more further up to the north, but they seem to be a fair distance away.
Do you say that like right in front of this opening, or are you going to try to move?
No, I'll
further
tuck back across first, yeah, and get close to everyone and whisper a bit.
Okay.
So the question is, how do we want to do this? Do we want to try to group them all together, or try and do maybe the narrow opening and then the big opening?
Well, if we can group them, I can do downburst on them. As a group.
Can you get all the ones that are in that room right now?
I can't remember how big downburst was.
Why don't we try the runestone for this room, see if we can dispatch them quietly, and then use the sound burst on the next room.
To do that too.
Because once we sound burst, everybody's going to know, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I was wondering if we get everybody into one point, but they're probably too spread apart, right?
But sure,
So-
never mind. My lure will be very bright.
Well, if you throw the lure in this room, and then Grimble and one of the persons stay out here, even if there is all the skeletons coming from the other way, as they come down this corridor, he can just sound burst them.
Yeah.
So actually, yeah, after you throw your runestone, we might want to make noise and make them come down this corridor.
So I want to remind you that lure affects living things.
Mhm.
So that could work for these guys.
Well, I do have a ghost sound that might get their attention. Bring them out here. If we want to bring them out.
I'm wondering if we have maybe like Maul and I kind of post up on either side of the little entrance, and then we have the rest of you do sound bursts in the big room. And if they do come out, Maul and I can kind of jump them real quick.
like a 20-foot diameter for sound burst, so
Couple of sound good idea.
Yeah, you're super duper choppy, Richard.
and very quiet.
Well, if we could get them close together, I do have something I can try too that'd be interesting. Won't want to be within 7 feet of it.
All right. Do you want to try that on this group right here?
Something real quick. So you don't want to be within 10 feet of it.
Bert's going to make sure he's at least 20 feet away.
So do you want to try that one on this group right here, Rekmit?
I can try to do is place it in here and draw them through it. So basically get them to come this way and run right through it.
Okay.
And what's it going to do?
This would be the drain heat, that mist of, yeah.
So why don't we all back up, and I'll make a ghost sound right outside the door to get them all coming this way, and then you drop your spell right in front of it.
Not a spell.
You're ruined.
Different than a spell.
Sorry.
Language of creation.
Yeah.
There's
You
much
just-
more. Much more.
I'll create the distraction. You just drop your funny words. So, do Grimble, Bert, and Maul want to go left or back down the corridor we came to the right?
I think for now, let's back up so we don't suddenly get surprised from behind.
Yeah, we could kind of make a choke point kind of here and drop it in the middle.
Well, I don't think we should. I think we should just bypass these guys. All they're doing is mining.
Yeah, but we got to clear out the mines anyway, so we got to kill them at
Yep.
some point.
Well, but there's probably a big guy down here that's controlling them, and we may want to find him and take him out instead of letting these little guys suck all the hit points out of us.
Hey, let's just do something and not keep dawdling.
I agree.
Yep, want to do ghost sound in the room?
All right, so I'm going to make the sound of a young child asking for help right here. Actually, yeah, right here. You might want to get out of the way so you can't be seen.
I got to be up here to put the rune in, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, except for you. Maul, do you want to back up a little bit?
Am I causing problems there?
You're going to get seen when they look for the sound.
Well, I thought you wanted to fight them.
We're trying to learn.
Rekmit's
Let 'em see
putting a
'em.
ruin up.
Let them see them so they come to it and go through the room.
Okay.
Paul, you do you. I like it.
Why don't we just walk in and start killing them? I mean, if that's what we're going to do,
Like I said,
why waste a
don't
bunch of
walk into
spells
the
on
mist.
them?
Don't walk into the mist. That's all I'm saying.
Trying to be stealthy. I cast Ghost Sound right there.
Okay.
Rekmit essentially wants to put the rune somewhere right in here, and we both have purple.
So you're gonna put the rune. So it's gonna be it's gonna affect 10 foot by 10 foot if you cast it on an object. So are you like casting it on one of the wooden slats in the railroad tracks, or?
Sure, that works for me.
Okay. So
Basically, as soon as I see the skeletons headed this way, I want to mark the ruin. I mean, I know we'll have initiative, so.
Okay, so basically right there. Except let's make that transparent. So right there. And the ghost sound is somewhere over here.
Right here.
On the corner, okay. Okay. I don't think we need to roll initiative because, well, I guess we can still, but you basically have surprise because they don't know you're there. So roll initiative, and even if they win, though, you're going to get to go first.
It is George, Robert, Matt, Chris, Alice. So George is gone. Robert, you're up.
3.
As I said, even if I lose, yeah, so I won, but they basically don't do anything because they don't know you're there. So you all get to take your turn.
So would they start walking for the sound on their turn?
Nothing has happened yet. They get their turn first.
Okay.
So you're gonna, right?
See, that's the problem. I probably don't want to put the room down right now.
I cast Ghost
I want to
Sound.
wait till they're moving.
Okay. So you cast Ghost Sound, and then Rekmit's going to throw the rune down?
I think I'm going to wait till the next round. Because it'll only last 2 rounds.
Okay.
So if I waste it, we'd already have 1 round gone right now.
Okay.
Am I understanding that rule correctly? Because it would only be this round and next round, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I'll wait till they move.
Okay.
We just need to win initiative again.
Yeah. So, all right, so they're going to move. Okay.
Well, they're not going to move at all yet. We got to roll initiative one more time, right?
Well, if no one else is doing anything, yeah, we're going to roll initiative again. Hold on a second. Let's look at something here.
That's what I'm confused on. Is okay, are they going to be able to move fast enough where I should throw it down or not?
Grimble is going to move down a little bit too. Turn that around.
By the way, these are goblin skeletons, just in case I didn't make that clear. Because that's the size of the footprints that you saw and all that stuff. So, yeah, so they are going to move. Because, see, you won no, they won initiative, right? So they had a turn where they didn't do anything, and now Trip cast the ghost sound, so now we roll initiative again.
Who's next, seeing as I lost?
That would be me. But you really won, didn't you?
No.
I got a 2.
I rolled a 4. So they're going to move this way. Which means they didn't reach you. So is anybody else going to do anything?
Nope, don't think so.
See, this is
I'm gonna
what's...
wait 1 more round.
Yeah, this is what...
I'm going to balance on that knife's edge.
This is actually one of those things, right? Like, I should have just narrated them. I should have let you cast before we go into initiative order. I should have let you cast Ghost Sound, and just say Rekmit's casting his Drain Heat, and then they're going to be attracted, and then the surprise round they're going to be walking into the Drain Heat. Then we would roll initiative, right? So
yeah, that's where the mapping tries to try and fit it all in. It's
yeah,
kind of weird
it's kind of weird to do this, but I rolled a 1, so I lost initiative anyway.
Wait, who's next? They could roll a 1.
That's Chris.
No, I lost that one, so roll again. This will, because you're not going to do anything until they walk into it. So.
Oh, you rolled a 1 when I rolled a 2?
Yeah.
Oh my.
So I just rolled a 7.
I rolled a 6.
Okay, so here's the thing now. So these are close enough that they could actually walk through this area before Rekmit casts his spell now. Casts his rune. Right? So let me see. That one actually doesn't. They actually don't. They make it. They're like that. Right? So now the question is, do you want to cast the rune or do you want to wait?
I'm going to cast it. Screw it.
Okay.
Do it.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
I can't wait any longer.
So on your turn, you cast the rune.
I'm seeing way too many goblin skeletons coming at me.
I mean, the thing is, it doesn't, it's not visible, right?
It could have like a mist or a cloudy effect, depending on the moisture in the air, it seemed like it said.
Yeah, there's not a ton of moisture in here.
It's almost like a little cloud area, so if there's any moisture, it'll cloud up or freeze up. However we want to do it, the theater of the mind, how you want to describe it. First time we're trying this one, guys. Let's see what happens.
I like this one.
Okay.
I played Rekmit better as a first level than I have as a second level. That's all I can say.
All right. So roll me a d4. I'm going to put some numbers on these things.
4.
Okay. All right. So skeleton number 3 just took 4 points of damage. Skeleton number 3 walks into the cloud. The sort of, it doesn't even look like a cloud. It's sort of as if the very small amount of moisture that was in the air has been frozen. So it almost looks like you're seeing dust motes in the air, except they're very reflective because it's not really dust motes. It's like the tiny frozen droplets of water. But they're not hugely abundant. There's not very many of them, so it's a very strange effect. But that skeleton walks into it and freezes in place.
Mm.
And so now we should roll initiative for real to see how many of them are going to be able to get in there. I rolled a 3.
So Chris, you're up.
And I rolled a 5.
Okay, so these things walked closer, and you see one of them being frozen in place. The question is, does anybody want to do anything? Or do you want to try to get them to wade through?
Rekmit is going to move back a few feet.
Grimble's going to fire a bolt at number 1.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Rekmit's courage has been tested. He's been found trembling.
Natural 20, but it's 23.
But it's what? What did you say?
Natural 20. 22 is the total score.
Okay. That hits?
4 points of damage.
Okay.
Trip got a 12 on his shot.
That.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Before you say that, because I think we determined that goblin skeletons would also give me the +1 combat expertise, right? Did we? I think you said that when they were in the trees.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually a 13.
Okay, that hits.
4 points of damage.
How many?
4.
Okay. And you shot at number 1 as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Bert will go ahead and take a go with his sling at number 3, because that's closest.
Okay. Number 3 is frozen in place.
Oh, just kidding. That's the one that froze. We'll do number 1 then.
Okay.
And we got a 16 to hit.
That hits.
3 points of damage.
This skeleton falls apart. It gets hit in the head by the sling, and it just falls apart. It just falls onto the ground. It looks like some random bones on the ground now. Maul.
I moved.
Okay. Alright. Skeletons. Number 3 is frozen in place. Rekmit, roll a d4.
Would you believe it's another 4?
Sure. This one freezes right where it's at. Number 5 gets to here. Roll me a d4, Rekmit.
2.
You see ice crystals start to form, but that one doesn't freeze, and he makes it through. This one is going to get to here. Roll a d4.
2.
That one freezes in place. The last one cannot make it to that area. Roll initiative.
And that spell, or that ruin, expires now.
Yep. I rolled a 6 for initiative.
Chris, I think you're still up, right?
Still up, right?
So yeah.
Yep.
Rolled a 9.
Okay, so you all want initiative. So I'm going to put a circle on the ones that are frozen. Just so that you know by looking. I'll put a blue circle on them. That one's frozen. That one's frozen. Number 3 is frozen. 5 and 7 are not frozen. Grimble. When you look down the hall, you see more skeletons.
Uh-huh.
You also see one coming through this passageway right here.
Okay.
Could be a good sound burst starting if they get close
Yeah,
enough.
that's, if I can get close enough, it would be a very
Oh,
good
are you like, you run right in front of me to attack that skeleton there? Oh,
I'm thinking we drop a Scooby-Doo minecart down here and just knock all the skeletons down.
we didn't move a cart in the way. We lose Richard again?
Yep.
Oh.
I'm gonna take my swing.
I saw you moved in front of me. Oh, you're going to use a sling? Okay, then I'm not going to do what I was going to do.
That's an 11.
That misses.
Okay.
That was Maul. Who else is going?
Trip is going to try to fire at number 5. I'm going to try to, for a called shot, Samuel, I'm going to try to hit him right in the spine and split the skeleton in half. You do called shots?
Yeah, you can do a called shot, but you're going to make that attack at a heavy
-4.
disadvantage here. It's going to be... Where'd it go? I have it right here in my notes here. You're going to have a...
-8 is what you had in the combat overview for us.
Yeah, that's right.
It's 8, huh?
Sorry,
So
I
I'd
said
have
it
to
earlier,
get-
but I was muted.
Basically, you have to get a 20.
Yeah, and you're firing
not-
into melee, so if you get a 1 or a
Oh.
2, you might hit Maul.
Hey,
if you
called
hit
it,
Maul
let's do it.
with a called shot to the spine...
First, I asked how much it would be. Yeah. So, hearing the numbers, I'm not feeling that lucky. I'm going to shoot at number 8.
Okay. Number 8, not number 5?
Number 8.
Okay,
Oh, number 5. Number 5's in melee.
correct.
So I'm going to shoot at number 8.
Okay,
That's going to be a 16 on the dice
that hits.
for 3 points of damage.
Okay. That's Trip, Rekmit, Bert, Grimble.
Grimble's got out more skeletons. And what's the hold up on the sound burst? He's going to shoot at. Oh, I got to scroll in. Oops, I just want to do that. Number's that? Number 8. And we'll miss. Little hasty.
What'd you get?
I rolled like a 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that doesn't hit.
Rekmit is going to reach out to Maul and put a little rune on him for shielding.
Thank you.
Okay.
Basically, Richard, what that'll do is for the next 2 rounds, you can absorb with the 12 points of damage while you're in front of me.
Ooh. Okay.
Bert.
Bert has no fear of hitting his teammates. He's going to go for number 5 anyway. And he got a 17 to hit
That hits.
for 2 points of damage.
That was number 5. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Roll initiative.
Still up, right? Did I win that one?
Chris, you lost that one, right?
I lost that one. No, you're right. I lost that one. We
Yeah.
went last.
Alex, and then Richard.
We got a 6.
I rolled a 5. You won.
Trip is going to yell out to Rekmit, how long are they going to stay frozen?
Never tried
Okay.
subjects. We're going to find out.
Until they start moving.
It's impossible.
I'll
to
take
tell.
a swing.
Like, thank you, Bert.
9.
That is a miss.
These things move like 20 feet, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Grimble, Bert, Rekmit.
Grimble is going to start casting Sound Burst. It takes him 2 rounds to cast it. So he's
Okay.
going to start casting.
Bert, Rekmit.
Rekmit's going to use his sling on number 8 over there. Probably be a total miss, but hey, why not? Never know. Holy crumpies. 18.
How much?
Rolled an 18. I don't
That-
think I get any pluses on anything else. So.
That is a hit.
Unless I get a +1 base hit because it's a goblin skeleton. 2 points of damage from the bullet, or the stone.
For number 8.
Yes.
Okay. Bert.
Bert might be putting that root of shielding to the test there because he slung at number 5 and got a 3, which will come out to a 5.
Yeah, that's a miss, but does not hit.
That's right.
Maul.
Okay.
And then they get to go. So number 5 is going to attack Maul. I rolled a 19 on the die. It would have done 4 points of damage, but you absorb that 4 points. Now, Rekmit, that rune, does it take the 4 away from the 12, so he's got 8 left?
That's the way I looked at it. It just says it does 12. It absorbs at the 12, so we'll have another 8 left.
What's the duration on that?
It'll be 2 rounds.
Okay. Okay. It might just absorb 12, up to 12, both rounds that it's active, and then...
Correct.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
That would seem to be.
So it doesn't have 8 left, it still has 12 the next time. Well, 8 left for this round. So, anyway, okay. That makes sense. Alright, so that was number 5. Number 7 finally is going to come over here, and that's as far as it can get. The rest of these... They're all trying to get closer. There they are.
Don't be shy.
2 of these, 11 and 12, have bows. They're going to shoot at Grimble. No, they're not. Because they moved. Okay, so Next round, roll initiative. I rolled a 5.
We got a 6.
All right, you win. Everybody go.
Trip is going to shoot at number 7 before he gets into melee.
Okay.
It's going to be an 18 total
That
for
hits.
5 points of damage.
Okay.
Got another 11.
That is a miss.
Bert will also take a sling at number 7, and I got a 12.
That is a miss.
Grimble will cast his Soundburst. And he's basically going to cast it in these 4 up here.
Which ones? I don't... 9, 10, 11, and 12?
Yes.
Okay.
They're all within 10 feet, so...
Yep. And what is that going to do to them? Do they get a save?
They take D8, and if they make a... There is a save. I can't remember what it is. A wisdom save. They avoid being stunned. If they don't make a wisdom save, they're stunned for 1 round.
Okay.
And they take D8 damage.
Alright, so here's the save for 9. Failed. 10. Failed. 11. Failed. 12. Failed. Put that die aside.
Yeah.
I rolled under 7 for all 4 of those rolls. Okay,
Is
so
that the same die as last week?
well, I'm putting it
Feeling
away.
nice from me.
So roll me a d8 for number 9.
Took 2 points of damage.
2 points of damage. Roll me 1 for number 10.
A little better. 5 points of damage.
Okay, 5 points of damage. Number 11.
3.
3 points of damage. And number 12.
Oh no, that's a 7. That's 7 points of damage.
7 for 12 or 11?
The last one.
Okay, so 7. Okay, so 11 bursts into 100 pieces and is gone.
Okay.
And then number 12?
Oh, that was 4 I did. Like, I rolled for 8, so I did a 2. The first one was a 2.
Yeah, I got a 2, a 5, it must have been a 3 and a 7. Okay, yeah.
3
And
and
so number 12 also has been destroyed. Okay, the other 2 are stunned for 1 round, which basically means they take no actions. So that's 9 and 10.
A huge thunderous sound went through the whole mines.
Yes,
Yeah.
a huge thunderous sound went through the mines. Several of you who, in the lull after the burst of sound, several of you hear what sounds like pickaxes falling to the ground and shuffling feet. Rekmit, you did not go this round yet.
Feet over this way and take a sling at number 7. Oh my goodness, I'm rolling like I'm an actual fighter. 19.
That's a hit.
Or make sure I'm using the right die. So I think it's for almost no damage, which is true. 2 points of damage.
Was that a sling?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That still kills him. Boom. He's gone. Falls down into 207 pieces. But now it's their turn. 9 and 10 don't get to go. Number 8 is going to go up to Grimble. 5 is going to attack Maul. That's a 6. That's going to miss. Number 8's attacking Grimble. Also a miss. Roll initiative. I rolled a 10.
We got a 2.
That one.
Yeah, I lost this one though.
5. Number 5 is going to attack Maul. A miss. Number 8 attacks Grimble. That is a 16. Probably hits you.
AC of 17.
Oh, nice. So
Nice.
that misses Grimble. 9 and 10, this is the round. They are stunned. Wait, are they stunned for 1 round or 2?
1 round.
So I guess they were stunned last round, so they are not stunned this round.
Right. Like I say,
That means they can shoot their bows at you. 17 on the die, that's going to hit. 19 on the die. I found the good die.
Ah.
That's too bad.
Grimble, 3 damage and 3 damage. 6 damage total for Grimble.
Grimble is... You see Grimble fall to the ground.
Grimble, you see Grimble get hit with 2 arrows, 1 in each arm, and then he just falls. Alright, roll initiative again.
We
we haven't
lost
gone.
initiative, didn't we?
Yeah, we haven't
Yeah.
gone so far this round.
Oh,
You're-
sorry. Wait, you think you want to get to turn? Okay. Yes, go.
Our turn to the Grimble dropping, and that was it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's better. Now I got a 21.
Alright, that's going to hit. Which one did you hit?
The number 5, whichever
5.
one is in melee with me.
Okay.
And my staff does 6 points of damage to him.
Okay.
Right.
That takes him out. He shatters into
Oh,
100.
excuse me, actually, that's 9 points of damage.
Yeah, either way.
Or 8
He
points
shattered
damage.
into 200 pieces then. Who's next? Grimble went down.
Bert's gonna run over in front of Grimble and kind of take the attention of the skeleton, take a swing with his club, but he's gonna miss with an 11.
Okay.
Trip is going to go up behind Bert since he's providing cover and reach in Grimble's pockets for the potion of healing and pour it gently down his mouth.
All right. Grimble, roll your D8 for your potion.
D8. Ooh, 6 points of damage. Now I'm back up to 3. There you go.
6 points of healing, you mean?
6 points of healing even. 6 points of healing. Anti-damage.
Reknit.
He will move up and try and throw a sling at number 9, seeing as they took care of Grimble. 15.
Which one did you fire at?
Number 9.
Number 9, okay. How much damage?
Oh, 15 hits.
Yep, 15
2.
hits.
I hit and always do 2.
All right.
My D4 doesn't always roll 4.
Okay. Roll initiative. I rolled a 1.
Oh, I guess it's my turn now.
Yep.
And I got a 5.
A 5. You win. Everyone gets to go. Who's going
this
first?
time, Reknit is
Grimble's
going to put a rune of shielding upon the very well AC'd but low constitutional Grimble.
Oh,
Okay.
well, in that case. Oh, last 2 rounds, you say?
That'll last this round and next round, yeah. So you can absorb up to 12 points of damage.
Oh, Grimble's going
Trip
Oh, sorry.
Trip is going to go over to number 2 and swing at him with his gladius before he unfreezes. Do I even need to roll to hit him?
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's get try.
that's going to be a 3.
Come on, you're supposed to channel your inner Reknit.
As you're walking up, you accidentally lose your balance and you fall into it with your arm and you knock it over and it falls down and breaks into 1,000 pieces.
Oh.
There you go.
That was Trip. Maul, Bert, Grimble.
Bert will take a swing at number 8 again, and I think he actually hits this time with a 20, not natural.
He does.
And he'll do 5 points of damage.
That was number 8.
Yep.
What are you hitting him with, a club?
Yeah, club.
Okay, breaks him into 100 pieces. He is now gone as well.
Bert's 2 for 2. Come on, guys, keep up.
Grimble's going to charge at this guy. And swing with his great scimitar.
That number 9. Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
Number 9. Given that he has got 19.
That hits.
Let's see, what is it? 2d8? 2d6. Okay, so 4, 5, 7 points of damage.
Okay. He is also destroyed. Bursts
Charge
into
up and-
100 pieces.
Swing at that other one. And that'll be a 12, I believe.
That is a miss. Both of you, now that you are up there far enough, you can also see that
tell them that I can hopefully
there are more of your buddy skeletons, coming in down the hall. 4 more of them.
Do any of them have bows?
All 4 of them have bows. How much damage did you do to number 10? Or did you hit number 10?
I missed him.
Okay. Number 10 is going to attack you. I rolled a 20 on the die. You're going to take 5 points of damage from his short sword.
Okay.
And those other 4 moved in, so they are not able to attack with their bows this round, which means we roll initiative again. Maul just took a good bit of damage. I rolled a 7.
This could be an important initiative.
Retweet!
Yes.
Who's rolling initiative?
I think it's still Richard, right?
Oh, yeah. What'd you get?
9.
All right, you win. Everyone gets to go.
Trip, not wanting anything to come up behind us, is going to recover his balance after bumping into the other skeleton. And then he's going to take his Gladius in a wide Zorro swing, trying to slash across both of the remaining frozen skeletons. Oh, that's better. 15?
Okay. You cause both of the remaining skeletons to fall apart. They actually shatter because they're frozen, so they shatter into like a million pieces.
Trip's immediately going to look around to see if anybody saw his awesome strike.
Bert's cheering in the background.
I am going to withdraw
Okay.
defensively.
See, so Grimble is going to attempt to turn them.
So, Maul, are you doing an actual fighting disengagement?
Yes.
You can only move half your speed.
I'll only have. Okay.
That's okay, because seeing Maul is moved back, Bert will move up just to the 5-foot square ahead of him there. And just be ready.
Alright. Grimble, Rekmit.
Grimble's going to try and turn them. Ooh. 15, I believe I do. Prime.
Yep. Roll a d12 for me.
This is where it gets really interesting. I have no modifier. 7.
Alright. Okay. That was Grimble. Rekmit. You're muted.
I say, yeah, you're still muted there.
Saw that. Gonna move up and see how bad Maul is doing. Can't do anything to him this round, but I can see if I need to. How bad he's looking, like he's down half.
I'm pretty cut.
You can wrap a bandage around him, right?
Not this round. I just moved 20 feet to my full movement.
These skeletons run away.
Really?
Yep. He turned them.
Oh, that's right.
You see Grimble there with his some kind of relic holding in front of him, chanting and praying.
That was very impressive, but did you see me shatter those 2 skeletons, Grimble?
So the question is, do you want to follow number 10?
Well, I'm gonna bandage Maul first.
Well, so if you're not going to pursue number 10, we can go out of combat. If you're going to pursue him, we got to roll initiative again. That's why I asked.
Let's follow him. I mean, that's my vote, not the party vote.
Well, I don't see any reason you guys can't start following him,
You think Grimble kind of
and we can catch up with you.
Okay, so that means we roll initiative again. Because that means we're not out of combat. I rolled a 1.
I rolled a 5.
Okay. So you win initiative. So Rekmit, what are you going to do this round?
I'm gonna bandage Maul.
Okay. Roll a D2.
That'd be a 1.
Okay, Maul, you get 1 hit point back.
Okay.
Grimble is going to kind of move up, continuing with chanting and praying.
Okay. Bert?
Bert is also going to move up, just chasing after number 10.
Okay. So if you run, you don't have to walk your same speed. You can actually run. Right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
You'll just take you won't be able to attack, but you'll take a negative to your armor class. But I mean, presuming.
Yeah, we can run after him for sure.
Yeah, so you can actually catch him, but you can't actually attack him.
Can I try like tackling, or does that count as an attack?
That would be like a grappling, and that's a special attack, so that's an attack.
Oh, yeah.
So, Samuel, can we move our full movement and still shoot an arrow?
No.
Okay.
You can't move and attack at range at all.
Okay, then I am going to double move or run also.
Okay. Running is 4 times your movement.
Oh.
Jogging is twice. But you take a heavy AC penalty when you're running. But in this case, it doesn't really matter, right?
I think they're scared of Grimble, so Trip is going to run very quickly.
Maul, you're the only one that hasn't gone this turn.
Well, I'm being bandaged, so I'm assuming I need to stay still. But if you let me, I'd do something.
I mean, what would you like to do?
I would move up, would be all I would do.
Yes, just like follow behind.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can do that. I'll let you do that.
Okay.
As long as Rekmit follows you.
Rekmit's like, no, hold still.
Yeah, you can't run, but you can do regular movement.
Exactly. Phil, damn you.
He'll kick him. Wait, I'm not done yet.
Okay, so Bert and Trip and Maul, when you get up there, you see that while number 10 has been turned, there is another skeleton right here that is still using a pickaxe on the wall right there. That has not been turned, but it's not engaging with you.
Employee of the month right there.
Say that again?
That's employee of the month. He's just not even caring.
Trip is going to take us. Did we already roll for initiative? Is it our turn?
No, we need to roll again. But I just wanted to let you know that you see that skeleton there, and also let's look at what you see up north here. Let me just do that. Now those 3 skeletons actually are not there anymore. They've moved again. They're running. These are the 3 that were turned. So you see the mine goes further back.
Does this kind of fit with the drawings we saw earlier?
Sort of. Remember, those drawings were very, very basic, so it doesn't. It's not exactly. super accurate, but it doesn't really. It's
main line. So I'm assuming it's kind of very rough, ready thing. A main line going through with a couple of spurs.
Right.
Does it kind of indicate how far, relatively speaking, that main line goes?
Not very much farther. Remember, it's not a super duper large mine, but it was apparently pretty active because the caverns that they're mining in are actually pretty big. It's not like they're making a tunnel in and just peeling off things off the side of the tunnel. They've made some pretty big caverns.
Yeah, I was going to say, they've made some areas.
So, initiative. I roll a 2.
I rolled a 1.
Okay. So this particular skeleton here is still running away because he has been turned, so he's trying to get as far away from you as possible. But Bert had caught up to him, and so had Trip. So you can actually take a swing at him as he moves away. Now, if you swing at him and hit him, you'll break the turning, and he'll be able to fight back if you don't kill him.
I got an 18.
Because I'm technically behind him.
Oh, I thought it was only if I attacked them that it broke the turning.
Oh, you know what? You might be right. I'll have to recheck. Yes, you can use your back attack, Bert. Honestly, Chris, I was assuming they were just going to kill him, so...
I was thinking going to away, but...
That hits, Alex.
Only for 3 damage.
Only for 3, but it kills him, because he had already been injured. Because he got hit by the soundburst, and then was turned. Okay, so that one's done. Number 16 has not done anything yet, so Bert actually took... That actually was on the skeleton's turn, not on Bert's turn. So, this skeleton in front of you isn't doing anything except mining. So
even when his buddy gets killed, he's not doing anything?
Correct.
Trip is going to go up to him and be like, "What are you doing? Tell me right now!" And pointing his gladius at him.
His back is to you, and he's using a pickaxe on the stone.
He does not react to me speaking to him?
Nope.
Huh.
You see a pile of that green stuff at his feet.
Why is this one not reacting to anything? Thinking that this is very funny, even in our current situation, I am going to slap him on the head to see if he does anything.
Give me an attack roll.
While he's doing this, I'm just going to walk up and hit him with my staff, or attempt to hit him with my staff.
No, not yet. My 15 smack attack.
Okay, give me a 1d2.
And it's going to be a 1.
Okay. Grimble? Maul, you want to roll your attack?
Yep, I got a 14.
That hits.
For 8 points of damage.
And that's with a staff?
Yes.
Okay. He falls down into 100 pieces.
Why are you always destroying my toys?
Now, since there's not another enemy in sight, and you know that the ones that were the closest to you have been turned, we can come out of combat.
Okay.
So, looking in this room, is there anything else of notice? I'm assuming that just because these skeletons have been probably mining here for hours or days, and if we don't see any mine carts, there's just going to be piles of gems all over the floor, right?
There is piles and piles of this stuff, and here is what it looks like.
Wow.
I think this is ours, right? We could take
all of this because the surveyors are outside.
We promised everything we found here?
Just get a percentage of it, but only a percentage of what we report.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check my alignment here real quick.
You were not a percentage. Remember, you did not get anything about percentage. What you got was
Right.
what you find while you're doing the task
Right.
is yours.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
I
now,
thought we
whether
got a percentage.
whether you interpret that as things that are in this mine that are the actual gems that are being mined, like this is called Velvet Malachite. Okay. If you interpret that as something you're finding when you when you're doing the job, then you can try to convince yourself that you should go ahead and take it out of the mine as part of the spoils.
Absolutely. That's
of
exactly
war.
what they meant.
Grimble's saying this is our finding. Find it.
This is
We
not
did
our
find it.
find. It belongs to the Baron. I'm
No, it
sure he
does.
wouldn't miss. He wouldn't miss if we took one or two, but the majority of the piles we must leave for the Baron. It's why we were
Why?
contracted for this job.
We were told we could get anything we found.
Well, if I will have to disclose to the Baron what you take.
And why is that?
From the mine, we're picking it up off the ground from these dead skeletons.
I think we were
That's
told
right.
to clear out the mine. They didn't specify enemies or gems.
Well,
And
So,
no, look, we got
how-
everything
so
we found.
my next
Anything we
question-
found was ours.
My next question is, how long are you going to stand around and argue about this?
Not very long.
As long as it takes.
Probably a
at
while.
least a couple minutes.
Well, you can argue. Reckman's going to be like, we should probably make sure we finish this up. I get up by Grimble.
Well, if the understanding is, if the Baron's understanding is that we can take whatever we found, then we won't have any problem telling him what we've taken, will we?
Like he would keep his word in a moment.
Let's argue this later. Let's continue on.
Yeah,
They're
so Grimble's
walking off. They
moving
got
up.
no feet.
Trip is going to try to find one large fist-sized piece of malachite to take with him.
Yeah, I do not know why it just decided to pick up that stupid skeleton. That's an interesting owlbear thing. If you're not, like, you're trying to reposition the map. And
And Samuel, I'd like to collect some skeleton shards also.
Okay. You can do so. Any particular type of bone that you would like to collect?
Yeah, just little finger bones or whatever. Something small that'll fit in my spell pouch.
Okay.
Ooh. So, skeletons have run off somewhere. But Grimble's kind of running up. Not running up, but he's basically advancing on the way, like down the track. At some point, he figures the skeletons will hit a dead end and we can finish them off. Or we run into more skeletons.
Okay, so, is everybody exploring up there?
Yep.
Head that way. See me.
All right, so it turns out that this track goes further on. And then there's also this passageway here.
Are the skeletons in there?
So you don't see those skeletons, but what you see is if you get to the next to this cavern, whoops. You get next to this cavern, what you see is that some of the rock in this area over here has been mined away. And behind the mined away area is some is a perfectly flat stone wall. It has been basically polished flat, and there is a door right in the middle of it. And there is some writing on the door. It's been carved in to the door. So on the map here, this blue square is where the wall has been smoothed, and the door is there. So let me move it over there so the audience can see it. Otherwise, this room looks very much like the other rooms. It has places where it has been picked and mined, and there are piles of green velvet malachite on the ground. There are no skeletons in here and no picks on the ground currently.
Okay. Because the skeletons didn't have picks when they came chasing after it, right?
Right.
Let's
Carry
go
on
up
down
to
the
it.
track, yeah.
Grimble is going to move up. He wants to go sure what's around the corner.
Okay. Can I make out what the writing is?
Do you speak Dwarvish?
Or is that eventually might be able to help him with that?
If you speak Dwarvish, you can read what the door says. If you do not speak Dwarvish, it just looks like a bunch of symbols.
What are you doing, Maul? Everyone is going up here. Did you find something?
Yeah,
What is it?
it's a door here.
Are you going to open it?
I'm thinking about it.
I've got your
It's got
back.
dwarven writing on it.
Trip does speak Dwarven, but he doesn't want Rekmit to know that. So I will take a look at the door. Well, I'm somewhat of a linguistic person myself. A widely traveled world gnome.
So you're looking at the door?
Yes, sir.
Actually.
And are you making it obvious that you can read it, or are you just trying to sort of glance at it? Like, how are you doing this?
I just look at the door to see if I can understand what it says, but I'm not reading it out loud.
Okay.
He said there was a door over there, and he's thinking about opening it, so I figured I just came over to look. I've learned my lesson in DCC. Never read anything out loud.
That's fun. Well, actually, I do have the cipher script.
Matt, I just sent you a message with what it says.
Rats. That. Oh, nope, that is a 12 prime.
What does Decipher Script do for you?
It allows me to make out what it says. It just takes 2 die 8 turns for each page.
Is that specific to, like, magical manuscripts, or...
Nope. writing in an unfamiliar language. Even an incomplete or archaic form of a message written in code. If it is an arcane language, there's a -10 penalty.
So you get the idea that the inscription on the door is let's see. I'm not sure you would understand exactly what it says, but let me send you something real quick.
Okay.
So once I see that the writing is Dwarven, I'm going to be like, well, perhaps we should call our friends before we open the door. Rickmet, Bert, Grimble. Maul is about to open this passage. But I do not let Maul know that I know what the door says. Yet. Not because Trip is trying to be shifty, Maul, but Trip puts a value on all information, and he rarely shares it freely. And there's always got to be some kind of deal worked out.
Bert will come running back over then.
What do Grimble and Reckmit see down that hallway first?
Yeah, I was going to say, what do we see? We've kind of moved up.
Cave way. Oh my god, I just disappeared. Learn teleport.
Seems like this is some kind of dwarven tomb, maybe?
You see that the passageway... Hold on, let me answer their questions first. The passageway... does go... It keeps going to the north, and it branches again.
Yeah. Reckman, you need to see this.
It's Dwarven, you say? Oh, yes, Reckmit, where are you?
Look around the corner and see what I see.
Come on. I think it's saying something about something good for this island, and it's dedicated to the Allfather.
Reckmit will glance at it and he'll look at Trip and say, "What does it say?" Not sure I can make out the script.
Oh, how do you expect me to know? I'm not a dwarf.
Doesn't mean you don't know languages other than your own, I presume.
Well, you would
Are you
be
saying that
correct.
Gnomish or are you saying that common? Vulgate.
I'm saying it common.
Okay. Because Gnomish would be looking like, huh? What? Alright, I will look at the script and see if I can read what the door says.
Yeah,
Grumbler's going to move up a little more, just so you know.
You can easily read it. Let me...
And it's just a door?
Well, it's a rather nice looking door, don't you think?
It is a very high quality door. It is
a dwarven crafted door?
It is obvious to you that it has been crafted by dwarves of very high skill.
And the rest of the walls are just rough hewn and like humans banging on the...
Other than... So the door actually is like the size of a double door. And about 2 feet on either side of the door. It's been polished smooth. And the door front is polished smooth with the inscription chiseled into it. With all kinds of flourish and, it's very decorative as well. Everything else in here is just rough hewn, not...
Now, does it look like these the goblins uncovered it?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Can you tell if this part of the chamber was recently excavated and the skeletons found it, or was it here before?
It's not recently excavated.
So the Baron knew of a secret dwarven door that leads to your Allfather, and he never told your family.
And you think he deserves the malachite?
Bert, did you check if there's any traps on this? That doesn't mean that there weren't traps put on it by someone else.
Yeah, I can take a check.
Or Maul. I mean, I don't care. I don't want to curry favor to which of you trap each
Oh,
other.
let him have this.
Is Maul
I
a
got
thief
a-
also?
18 prime.
Yes.
We're range heavy.
It's not trapped, but it's not unlocked either.
Alright, I'll look over to Maul and go, I've done my part. It's not trapped. If you want to go ahead and unlock it.
I'll give it a try.
What's the locking mechanism look like?
You don't see one.
With an 8, I don't think I could either.
Alright, well, it's locked somehow, but we can't figure it out. Recommend any ideas?
Yeah.
Punishing me for not taking the opening, or whether the breaking of locks, magical locks, ruined this time around.
Well, the thing is, you don't even see a lock. You just...
Right.
Bert knows, just from his experience, that when he was kind of investigating it for traps, he didn't find any kind of mechanisms at all. And yet the doors are precision closed, and he didn't accidentally open them, so he knows they're shut.
You're a dwarf. Put your hand on the door and see if it'll open for you.
I'm going to put my hand on the door and see if a little prayer to the Allfather, see if anything happens. Feel anything?
Nothing happens.
Okay, I'll inspect the whole door frame, the whole area, and see if there's anything that I can see. Some kind of opening mechanism or anything.
What are you specifically looking for?
I am looking for some way in which to either open this or something that would be different about it that could trigger the opening. Some way it's obviously some kind of magical lock, or speak friend and opens.
I mean, nothing is obvious. You've heard of dwarven construction where they have the doors sealed until as you said, like the speak friend thing, until the correct command is uttered. But you don't know where the mechanism is. You can't find a mechanism.
All right, guys, we're probably stymied, and that's probably why no one's mentioned it, because no one knows how to open this. So maybe we'll find something in our travels, but I don't think we can go any farther through this door. We can probably just check the rest of it out for now until we find out more information. I'll do some research with my family and whatever and see if there's a way to get in. I don't want to ruin it, and I don't want to try and break it.
Fair enough.
That's good.
Sounds fair, yeah.
You do have clues. 3 of you know what the door says.
I will tell everyone what it says. It says, "The glory of Colosnator awaits here, Colosnator, for the Allfather."
Oh, very interesting.
And apparently Colosnator is the island.
Yeah. Why don't you try saying the island's name, or if that doesn't work, try like something like "All hail to the Allfather," or whatever you consider the holy phrase to say to him. In Dwarven, I would think that would be the key.
I'm wondering if this is a gem mine, so maybe the glory of the island was a big gem, or is a big gem, that we have to find and potentially bring back here to trigger it.
Or the big gem's in there, and if we could get it, then we'd have a nice haul.
I'll look at Trippin. Do you still have that ball of malachite that you created?
I do.
Can I borrow it for a second?
I will hand him the wax ball of malachite shavings.
Try and hold that up to the door and press it against it.
Nothing happens.
Well, as you said, let's continue north.
Too stupid, I can't figure it out.
Okay.
We shall return if my brain figures something out.
Get more beer in you, that'll help.
Okay, so you are... Yep,
When you put your hand on the door, say that you're the Allfather.
Well,
Shoot.
or the Allfather, but that's all about it. Or, praise to the Allfather. And
Well, it says the glory of Colonaster awaits here for the Allfather. So
Because
tell the
Rick
door
actually-
that you're the Allfather.
Fine. I will actually say the exact words while I'm holding the malachite up there and another hand on
What are you saying?
the exact phrase.
As in...
The glory of Kalsnitter awaits here for the Allfather while I'm touching it and have the malachite mess ball touching as well.
Nothing happens.
Alright. Sorry,
Oh,
Trip.
no.
I know there's a
Like
saying.
this.
I'm gonna do it. I just can't figure it out right now.
Trip is going to put his little gnome hand on and grab the wax ball. I am the Allfather. Open sesame.
You're saying that in Vulgate?
I'm saying that in common.
Yeah, that's
Vulgate,
Vulgate.
yeah.
So, nothing happens.
Everything Rick said was in Dwarven.
hmm
I guess you're right. Broken.
I guess you're right. Let's go.
Sorry, that shoddy dwarf engineering.
What did he
Not
say?
up to par.
Trip, how did you exactly say it?
I said, I am the Allfather. Open sesame.
And then I will do the exact same thing in Dwarven.
So what are you doing?
The same thing that Trip did, I'll put in Dwarven. Because he refuses to admit he speaks Dwarven. And I don't know that, so.
Okay. As you say that, a crack between the two doors becomes visible.
I'm going to run back. Wait, everyone! I opened it!
Rickman falls back on his butt in amazement. He literally falls down like,
Trip just
That was
told
pretty
everyone
quickly.
he opened it.
that actually worked?
So when the crack formed, you smell the air that comes out from the other side that you smell, Rekmit. Trip ran away, so he didn't really. The air is very stale and pungent and has a slight moisture to it. It's a very different atmosphere from the caves that you're in right now.
Like moldy or just moist?
Both.
Well, of course Trip ran away. He goes to claim credit, That's how we do. Well, I'm over here, in amazement. Yeah, I'll just sit there like... And I will give a prayer to the Allfather in Dwarven. And glance
Oh,
over.
no, I opened the door.
Do I hear you saying that?
Absolutely, bro.
I
Winifred's
say,
brain.
I'll give you props for the phrase, but not for the actual opening.
Well, my hand isn't dwarven, but it was pretty much my effort, and I just used your hand.
Only if you speak Dwarven.
Oh,
Otherwise, you have no idea how to open this.
So, beyond... I mean, the door just opened a crack, so if you want to, you'll have to open it further, and I can tell you what's beyond it.
Recommend is still in a vogue state, or right term? Not vogue. Is it vogue? No.
Fugue.
Fugue state. Yes.
He's in a vogue. He's striking a pose.
Fugue state. Sorry.
Amazing.
So Brett's
Good work,
gotten really
Brett.
good at running from like the tracks to here. He's done it about 3 times now. So say good job to Trip as he runs by, and then he'll start opening the door or pulling at the door.
Alex got the zoomies back and forth, back and forth.
Wait, where's Grimble? Grimble!
Grimble's kind of looking for his skeletons. And making sure there are no more.
He's a man on a mission.
So, Grimble, you do see that this keeps going. So this passageway keeps going.
And at some point, Reckon will look at Trip and go, I never would have thought to be so bold, claiming being the Allfather. Seems sacrilegious to me.
Yeah, it does.
Seem to be going for a
Perhaps
long
it's
way.
just the phrasing on the door.
So, Grimble, you don't see those skeletons, but you do see, their footprints and whatnot.
Grimble would have moved up to about here, so because he sees there's an opening.
So, this is another large cavern. And you see, picks and tools and everything on the ground, but no skeletons.
Okay. Well, I'm figuring they've run away by now and I can't catch them up, so a little while later you'll see Grimble kind of wandering back through the entrance.
Okay.
Probably about the time you've opened the door, actually.
But then Reckon might have been slowly picking himself off the ground.
So beyond the door, if you look down the hall, it looks like a relatively long passageway, and it is made of hewn stone. It's not a cavern; it's a built structure.
Is this a hall of your ancestors?
Do we want to even try and go in here, or do we want to finish the mines first? As I've talked to all of you, I'm still staring down that hallway.
I
Look at anybody.
I don't see any reason to mess with the mines until after we've explored this.
I mean, I kind of want to finish out the mines, but not really because this door looks super awesome to go inside. Like, I think the best course of action is to finish the mines, but my heart wants to go into this door.
It's a cool looking door.
What is
Could
Trip
rapidly
wanting?
finish up the mine.
Trip thinks we should go in the dwarven door. This is possibly a stronghold for your ancestors. We have to explore it. The families lived in this area for ages, correct? There might be some remnants from your ancestors
I
inside.
don't understand how much ancient dwarven architecture is here. I don't understand. And he stumbles into the doorway.
Well, it's not open all the way unless you actually open it all the way.
That's okay. He stumbles into the door itself. Weakly tries to open it. Probably not very well.
It opens very easily for you.
And then I fall forward on my face.
Chat wants us to go into the door, so Trip wants to go in the door.
Trip is now driven by chat.
Yeah,
is
Maul
always
will,
driven
Maul
by
will
chat.
join them in going through the door. help
They're not gonna
help
Trip
Reckman get
off
up.
the floor.
Okay, so we now have to change maps here. Because now you get to draw.
Reckman's a stumbling, drooling mess right now because he's amazed and in awe.
Right, so I'm
So-
listening. I'll be back in a moment.
Wait. So you're here, basically. Okay. I will start the passageway for you.
Other tunes, but I can't grab record. I don't understand.
Okay, so this now somebody has to take over drawing duties. Okay, this passageway is 10 feet wide. Each of these squares is 5 feet. Okay, and it goes for at least 70 feet.
Okay.
And on the 40th foot, there is a door to the north. On the 70th foot, the passageway turns to the north.
What does the door look like?
It is... Also, by the way, there are sconces on the walls, although none of the torches that are in them are lit. The door is a wooden door with iron bands.
Cannot grab my icon. My token.
How come my lines are like muted, like a gray black instead of deep black?
It's probably the color.
Because you're not the All-Father.
So pick.
I've got it on black.
Pick the color, and because you have it on transparent, so the little thing that looks like a teardrop, click that, and then it'll draw your lines not transparent.
And Rekman will stumblingly lead the way unless anyone forces in front of him.
No, we'll let him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see.
I just can't actually grab my token.
Yeah, here. Let me see about this. Let's remove that one.
This is your house, buddy.
Not my house. It's the Allfather's house.
Let me just give you a new one. See if it'll let you have it.
It's been weird when it changes maps on me.
Yeah, it's probably just...
Nope, can't grab that one either.
Huh.
Delete it, and maybe I'll try and create my own.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good idea. Go ahead.
This map don't like me. Rekman is too much in a fugue state. You have to move him around.
That's fine. So, what would you like to do?
So we got a door here.
Yes.
Door what's right here.
Yep.
Rekman will stumble up to that door and look at it.
It's a wooden door with iron bands, 2 iron bands across it.
Are there any markings on it?
There are no markings on it. Also, the door looks very swollen and wet, like it's absorbed a lot of water.
Well, Rekman is going to try and grab the door unless Bert stops him. And so,
I was gonna say, yeah, Bert's coming up behind him here and see that he's looking at the door. I'll say, kind of pull him gently to the side. Hold on, let me look at it first here.
Because you'll see Rekman trying to slowly reach towards it, like wow. And if Bert grabs him, he'll be like, oh.
Hey, I'll very gently kind of move your way, not. Take a quick check for traps.
Yeah, there's a lot of moisture in this hallway.
There's not a ton of moisture, but it's much more than what you had in any other part of the mine.
So this is maybe open more to the outside or some water source.
Yeah.
Alright, I got a 14 to look for traps.
I'm assuming that's prime for you.
Yes, sorry.
You do not find any traps, but you do also realize that the door is swollen shut, so while the handle is unlocked, it does not readily open.
Well, that's been good on. Grimble would have gone up to the corner to pick here.
Now, does he realize that's because it's locked or just because it's swollen?
Well, Bert found out that it's not locked when he was doing his check.
Okay.
And Tripp has been contemplating why the door opened, so he's going to go up to Rekmet and he's going to be like, well, of all the evidence that we found of Narrheit, it seems odd that your ancestors would ever put an inscription on the door that would make another dwarf say such sacrilegious phrase. Perhaps Writing is from Narrheit, trying to trick you.
Grimble, you see that the passageway continues north for 30 feet, and then there's a doorway there.
Keep cutting out a little bit, Sam.
Grimble, you see that the passageway leads north another 30 feet, and then there's a door at the end of the passageway.
Okay. I'll stay there.
I'll mention the trip. That may be true, but Narrheit and their followers could never craft doors and walls in this manner.
How far down is the door to the north that Grimble sees?
30 feet.
Grimble kind of gently call back. There's a door further up here.
Bert will kind of look at Reckmet and say, all right, the door is safe to open. We might have to tug at it. It's up to you if you want to open it or keep going.
Inwards or outwards?
It opens in.
Okay, I'll try and open it. Push it in. Which is going to be really pathetic.
Give me a strength siege check.
Like I said, pathetic.
Can Bert help him as well?
That will be a total of a 9. Non-prime, of course.
Bert, you see Reckmet sort of back up and steel himself to the task and then ram his shoulder into the door and then bounce back off the door, and the door does not move.
Like a wet noodle slamming against the wall and flying back to the other wall. Wow.
All right, once he gets himself up, be like, hold on, let's try together. Right? We can do this teamwork here.
Okay.
Come
Just
on,
gotta
you
coordinate
guys.
it.
Go, 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 go.
Yeah, you're both thieves. Don't you have a crowbar, either of you?
Sure.
Yeah, Bert's gonna run.
Watching them try their strength is much more fun.
So Bert, give me a strength siege check, please.
9.
I'm assuming that's not prime. Yeah.
No.
So Reckmet, you see Bert sort of wind himself up and
I could help
run
him.
at the door.
This time.
Doesn't matter. You're both trying, and now it's like Keystone Cops. Anybody else that's looking, so Grimble's looking down the hall, but everyone else that can see this sees Bert and Reckmet sort of wind themselves up and then slam into the door, and to no avail. Nothing happens.
Maybe we should go try the other door that Grimble just saw.
Yep, this one impossible to open. Can't do it. Time to move.
It can be done. I just don't want to hurt the door.
If we can't do it, no one can do it.
With his-
You're the best of us for sure.
Let Maul in there with his
Yeah, I pull out my crowbar. And what do I need for that?
Strength siege check, please.
Okay. And that will be a 19 non-prime.
Maul walks up, sort of quietly moves through the crowd surrounding the door, pulls out the crowbar, and just goes, pop!
I don't know if it's really a crowd when both Bert and Aaron laying on the floor like, oh, that didn't work.
The door
We look
pops.
up and we look at them all like, I go, thank you?
The door pops out of its.
Commotion going on, and Grimble walks up.
The door
Before I
pops
leave,
out of the
you-
frame and swings open just ever so slightly. It's still really swollen, so it doesn't swing very well, but it does swing in about an inch. So
Okay,
you can
Push it the
open.
rest of the way. Yeah, I push it open.
You see a room. Let me give you the dimensions first so that you can draw it. The room is 80 feet long. So from the wall that you're at, it extends 80 more feet beyond the wall there where the door is. It extends 10 feet to the west, to the east, and 30 feet to the west. So it's a rectangle. So the long end of it is 80 feet from the door. And to the right of the door, it's 10 feet, and to the left of the door, it's 30 feet.
Got it.
Now, what you see in here is anyone who looks in sees frescoes on the walls that depict dwarves doing things.
Uh-oh.
There's a lot of
sitting on the floor looking between Maul's legs.
There's a lot of debris on the floor. So that line's wrong, Matt.
I thought you said 10 feet to the west?
To the east and 30 feet to the west. I probably said it. I said it backwards the first time, and I tried to fix it, but
yeah, he tried to go left and right.
Yeah.
So 10 to the right and 30 to the left.
10 to the right and 30 to the left, and 80 forward. So there is a lot of junk on the floor, a lot of rotten debris on the floor. It is covered with just a lot of junk. The walls have frescoes showing dwarves doing things. The floor has a purplish coloration to it and looks a little fuzzy.
Ooh, great.
Fuzzy. Fuzzy's never a good word.
Yeah, I think it's something to look at from here.
What else is in the room?
Well, nobody has really stepped in it. All he did was open the door, so I'm just telling you what you can see from here.
I don't like the look of that fuzzy purplish floor. I've got a bad feeling about that. I don't see any openings. I don't see anything of value in there. I think we best stay out of it.
Is there any other furniture or anything within the first 20 or 30 feet?
Not that anybody can see. It just looks like there's just a field of debris on the floor covered with purple fuzzy stuff, and then the walls are covered with frescoes showing dwarves performing activities. I can explain what the frescoes have a little bit more, but nobody's really focusing on those.
No, because
Reckon we'll go forward and try and scrape up some of that purple fuzzy stuff and try and determine if it's dangerous.
I would also like to look to see if I can find a beetle or a worm or a lizard.
What, you can't talk to fungus?
Not yet. But I might be able to identify it.
Well, look at these scrapings.
As Reckmit moves into the room to try to scrape some of the purple stuff up, Reckmit, what's your AC?
Well, I was going to try and do it from the doorway and just reach in and scrape some of it up, but I gotta go in. I've got like a 12. So you're going to hit me no matter what, unless you roll horribly.
So as you're sort of leaning in, part of your body has to go in for you to scrape some things up, okay?
Yep.
And as you're doing that, 4 purple tentacles come out of the ground in various different places in the room and try to grab your arm. Only one of them succeeds.
And Reckmit squeals like a really, really high-pitched, non-dwarven anything.
I need you to make a Constitution save for me, please.
Well, that's not going to go over well. I used all my good rolls. That's a 1.
You take 3 points of immediate damage, and the mark on your arm where the creature hit you is burning. And as you look at it, you see that where it corroded whatever armor or clothing you had on your arm right there. and it's now touching your skin, and it's causing your skin to basically go, like, to die. It's becoming, like, necrotic. It's definitely some sort of a poisonous contact poison that causes your skin to go necrotic, and it is causing you a lot of pain, and you know that it's doing a lot of damage. So you take 3 immediate points of damage, and you will take
Squeal? Like
you
a
will
pig?
take more damage per turn.
Yeah, I squeal and, like, reel backwards. Like,
I'm gonna go to him and reach in my little pouch that has my herbs and stuff in it,
Mm-hmm.
and some water, and see if I can slow down whatever's happening on the arm there.
So what are you putting on it?
I have some herbs and things that have been useful for me in the past in dealing with poisons.
Mm-hmm.
keep in mind that there is a tentacle attached to my arm.
I was gonna say it hasn't let go yet, has it?
Yeah, it hasn't let go.
Oh, it hasn't let go yet. Oh, in that case, I'm going to take my staff and swing at the tentacle.
Okay, go ahead.
Swing at the tentacle, swing at my arm, whatever it takes.
And that's a 20.
Natural 20?
No.
Okay. All right, that hits.
And that's for 6 points of damage.
Okay. It lets go. And sort of slithers away and goes back into the greater mass of debris on the ground, and you kind of see plumes of spores and fluffy stuff fly into the air as it sort of retracts down back into the floor where it came from.
Grimble, quickly! Do you have the potion of neutralized poison?
Unfortunately, I don't.
Oh, Leonise has
have
it.
I think Leonise has it. I was just looking.
I have detect poison I could call, but that doesn't help us.
Okay. I'll do my best to see what I can do here.
Grimble, quickly, shut the door!
Grimble goes to the door. He has pulled out a flask of oil, though.
That will be a 8 non-prime.
And what are you doing?
I'm using my knowledge of plants that neutralize and delay poison. It's a racial skill.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, but the knowledge, does it actually let you neutralize the poison?
Probably
It says I
let him know
have
what.
knowledge of flora and fauna, and I have some of that with me that has worked in the past. So I've got like some herbs and things with me that have helped me in the past dealing with poisons.
Okay, hold on a second.
I'm resistant to poisons if it actually is poisonous. Though my one didn't help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
doesn't matter how resistant you are, I don't think your one is going to help. To be honest.
Ooh.
Yeah, though my 8's not going to do it even if I was sure of what the poison was and everything.
Yeah, so what you can tell, Maul, is this poison is extremely difficult to heal, and it's going to continue to affect him until a stronger sort of healing is
Okay. Yeah.
given to him, and it's pretty quick acting.
Maybe we need to get him to George.
So, can I identify what the purple fuzz is as in my nature lore?
Yes.
So primal druids are connected to the force of nature. So if it's an unfamiliar environment, which this one probably is, a successful wisdom check is required to use this ability. Or would this be a plant that I'm familiar with?
You've probably heard of it.
Tell me what it is.
It is a violet fungus.
That was a violet fungus. Do I know what the antidote for that is?
Roll me a wisdom check, or maybe intelligence.
I'm sorry.
Your choice.
I'm sorry. I have to urinate on your arm. Hold it out.
A small price to pay.
That is only going to be an 11 prime.
Rickman rolls a 20 on whether or not he believes he's got to be. It's a natural 20. And I will take that over anything else.
Trip, you're not exactly sure how to get rid of what's happening, but Rekmit, it's actually more painful now than it was. You're going to take a -2 to all of your siege checks and all of your attacks.
Okay. Well, I'm at least going to pour some water on it.
Yeah, you can pour water on it. That's not going to stop anything. Rekmit, you lost another hit point while everybody was trying to administer this.
Say a hit point?
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, Bert will go up and use the bandage with the salve and give him at least another 1 or 2 hit points back here.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
Someone's
4, 5,
invaded
6
the
is 2,
Allfather. I don't like it.
So you get 2 hit points back from the bandage.
Perhaps we could go back and see Drake.
Yeah, I think we need to take him back to George and see if he's got any.
We can go forward. I'm okay.
Oh, your arm is turning black.
It's turning purple. I like purple. Let's just keep pushing on and see how long it lasts. I'll be okay.
What would you all like to
we're
do?
gonna take him back to Jake.
Yeah.
You might have to convince him.
Against his will. There's 4 of us, only one of him, and he's
only got 1 arm.
He's getting weaker. He's getting weaker by the minute.
I don't think even if I wasn't getting weaker that I could actually resist them if they dragged me out of here.
Okay.
Close the door. Close the door.
Are you taking him back directly, or are you like what's your, are you being careful? What's your thing here? What are you doing?
No, I think we're running fairly quickly. I mean, as much as a group of us can do, we'll be going as quick as we can.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Quickly, but making sure we're watching ahead for anything that's, showed up and if we have to stop or take cover, but probably not hiding or being quiet.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Rekmit in Dwarven will look over at, pretty much everyone, but basically towards the room and go, really do care.
Right before he passes out from losing too many hit points.
Sure.
Maybe if we light his skin on fire, it'll stop the spread of the fungus.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of, you could do that. Cauterize the wound.
There's one of those cold rays on him.
As soon as Rekmit loses consciousness, I'll just feed him a healing potion. Keep him going.
Okay. You want to roll the hit points for that?
Damage, I'm still okay.
The what now?
Unless I took a lot of damage, I'm still okay. I was only down 2 at the moment.
Uh-huh. The time it took them to drag you out, you went unconscious.
Okay.
Got a 7 back though from the healing potion.
Okay. Let me check something here.
How far are we away from town, from Interlaken?
You're like miles away.
2 days?
We're a ways.
Yeah.
I think we're probably closer to 1 day now that we know the route.
We can cut back across, right?
Don't we have the neutralized poisons potion?
I mean,
Leonise has it.
So the thing is, Leonise has it, but the question is, would Leonise have given it to you before she went off for training?
Only Leonise can answer that, Chris.
We'd have to leave that up to
I know.
Chris.
It's just like I didn't look and think about it. But Leonise would have been stuck in town or wherever she went. Chances are she would have done. It's a question of whether we would have thought about it.
What percentage chance do you think there would have been that she would have thought about it?
I'm trying to think what else he has. Let me just see what else he has, because there might be other stuff. Because if we're going to do this, we could do it. So, he probably would have done, because he's going to be perfectly safe. So it's probably like a 75-80% chance he would have done. It's one of those of, hey, I'm going to go and do this tomorrow morning, and then you forget about it as you go off. And that's kind of like the thought.
Okay, so, why don't you roll a percentage dice then? Roll under an 80.
Oh, I think a Dapper's got to do it.
Come on, do it. Come on, Chris.
Oh, you want me to? You really want me to do it?
You
Yeah.
roll
Yeah.
it. It's your character.
Oh man.
All on you, whether I live or die.
There you go. 18.
18%?
You haven't-
Okay.
Yeah, you have a neutralized poison.
Yeah, so somebody has the neutralized poison. You might have all given it to Jake.
But it'd probably given it to
We probably would have, yeah.
the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've
Okay,
been Jake or Reckman, most likely.
so you can convince Jake to administer that neutralized poison to Reckmit if you all want to.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Bert definitely will try.
Okay.
definitely. Wait, I need to go and.
All right.
Okay.
Reckmit, your poison has been neutralized.
What happened? I've got it.
Wait, you're unconscious. You're not healed. You're just, now the poison is no longer active. So he probably needs a healing potion as well.
Bert will give him another one.
Okay.
Or another 7.
There you go. Now you have 7 hit points, Reckmit. You wake up flat on your back outside, looking at the sky. Looking at the tree canopy, actually.
Oh, the old father is so pretty.
And that's where we'll end.
Yeah.
That would have been bad.
Yes.
It's a very, very, I mean, it's very difficult to cure this. You need remove disease, neutralize poison, or cure critical wounds.
Or cure what?
Critical wounds.
Critical wounds. Yeah.
So we weren't supposed to be in there yet. Yeah, got it.
No, that's not true.
Well, I was actually going to go and fire a crossbow bolt at the far corner, and then you went and stuck your hand in.
I was just trying to pull a little sample out and see what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was getting a little too familiar.
So there's an interesting conversation just for the last few minutes that I want to have, and I kind of had this. I talked with Richard a little bit about this, just because we were talking about different things with Castles and Crusades, but the idea that so one of my house rules, and I know it's a very common house rule for castle keepers that run CNC, is.
We keep losing it then.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you said it there.
I wonder if it's because my mic's not picking up or if my internet's going bad. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that that is a conversation that has probably a pretty common conversation actually is one of my house rules, and it's a common house rule that a lot of other CKs have. Okay, that house rule is that if you have a class skill, I let you roll that class skill as a prime check, even if that attribute is not prime for you, because it's a class skill. And the conversation is another user actually who is pretty active on the Discord said to me that he doesn't like that house rule because for him that actually degrades the value of being a human. Because the thing that is the only thing really that's special about being a human is that you get 3 primes. And since you get 3 primes, it's easier to sort of, have better checks overall. Whereas demi-humans only get 2 primes. And so even if you're playing a class that gets lots of different abilities, if those abilities cover or go across more than 2 primes, you're having to make a choice, and that choice is important, and it's a differentiating aspect between, one of that same class and another, but also of humans, because humans get 3 primes. And so I talked about this a little bit with Richard just because we had been chatting back and forth, but what does everybody else think? I mean, that's a house rule that I use, but I thought it was an interesting perspective that it actually degrades, also it kind of kills niche protection, right? There's a niche protection aspect to which primes you choose. And there's a human class or human race protection aspect to being able to get 3 primes. If the human can choose 3 primes, but everybody else can just get prime for whatever check they make anyway, then how does that make a human special at all? So anyway, What do you all think?
So I have to admit that I don't do that. It's like the whole advantage of being a human. Well, the only benefit of being human is you get 3 primes. Right? So I'm a dwarf. So I mean, I'm a dwarf, right, in this case here. And the need has a bunch of other too. I've got things like enhanced sensors. I've got move silently. I've got spell resistance, spot hidden doors, twilight vision, weapons training. Okay, so I know I'm a warrior priest, so I got a couple of extra. But okay, take out the weapons training, and that's what a dwarf gets, basically. And they only get 2 primes, but I get pluses to a lot of different checks. So if you now say, all right, so I actually don't have any real good class abilities in this case. I get armored spellcasting, but if I had other ones, that would be like almost make me invincible, relatively speaking to others. So I have to admit, when I'm in my games, I'm pretty strict about. I don't do that kind of house rule. You get the primes you're given, and you get the abilities you're given, but that's the bonuses you play. Because think about it, if you're a demi-human, okay, so you have, depending on what you are, you have 1 prime you have to take, right? Obviously, that's your prime. Mm-hmm. And then you've got to pick another one, right? So you've now got to pick 1 out of 5 of what am I going to pick as the thing that I'm going to try and get an easier save on. And you have the bonuses to come into play. So you can, do you pick one that's like, oh, I don't get a good bonus on that one, therefore I'll make that the prime and hope the bonuses help me on the others.
Yeah. Like, I like to do it because the one that it really affects is the thief, or is the rogue and the assassin, because they have spell classes that require, they have 3 different attributes that control some of their skill classes. So you're already making a non-human rogue have to have basically a negative in one of their skill, their class skills, and that just doesn't seem right to me. And it's not like they get, if it's intelligence, it's not like their other intelligence rolls are prime. It's just when they're looking for traps that it's prime. So I don't think it's really great to make a thief choose between being able to have the intelligence or the wisdom and choose one or the other.
Yeah.
What do the rest do you think?
Alex, go ahead before I nominate.
I think I can see the benefits to both sides. I think if you didn't do that house rule, I would have obviously changed one of my primes from Constitution to Intelligence. But I don't think, I don't really need the Constitution prime. It was just kind of like, Constitution save is generally one to make. So it wouldn't have massively changed anything for me. But I can also see the benefit of just giving it to you. It's all they get.
And I could even see making the house rule be that they only get it if they've used that they have to use their primes for their class skills, so they can't put so you can't create a human thief and put your primes everywhere, dexterity and strength and constitution, and then get your intelligence and wisdom checks at prime, where you have to use them and everything, so that it only works on those people. The Hobbit rogue that then has a void in some of their skills, they're the one who gets it. But they can't if they move it outside of that. If they chose Dex and say Constitution, then they wouldn't get their intelligence and wisdom checks for skills at prime. That makes sense?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much how it's intended, right? I mean, I didn't necessarily explicitly say that, but that's it's not meant as a house rule that can be a workaround or a cheat, right? It's just meant as if you have a class that has different skills that encompass 3 primes, right? If you only get to choose 2 primes if you're not a human. So that third prime, but it still applies to a class skill, you only get to use that attribute that as prime if it's part of that class skill. You can't just pick the other 3 because you know you're going to get a prime roll because of your class skill.
Right. Let's change a little bit. The other thing I think would be a good variation. So, I have misunderstanding before. So take the example of thief, right? So I think it's one of those that maybe grows. It's more complicated, but it grows as you get experience. So that comes into play when maybe you're a second or a third level. If you're a rogue and it's a non-prime, because you've now got the training that it becomes that point. I have to admit, I prefer that idea. Because you're right. If I'm a rogue, I have a lot of certain skills that I'm good at, right? Detecting traps, moving silently, etc., right? Hiding shadows. But I'm not sure that from day one I would get the advantage of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and that's part of why we're having the conversation, right? Because there's many different ways to look at it. You know, the other way to look at it is, well, it also adds to the idea of, I also say as a house rule that if you're attempting an ability that is the ability of another class and it's not your class, I let any character try to attempt anything, right?
Right.
And so, but if you're attempting that ability, you don't get to add your level to the roll.
Right.
Right, because that means you'll never improve on that. You'll always just be baseline on that particular whatever it is. If you're not a ranger and you're trying to track, you're never going to get better at that. You're always going to have whatever chance you have, either 12 or 18, right? Either 15% or 45%, right? Yeah. So there's that. That's the other half of that house rule, right?
Yeah. No, see, I'm even tougher because if the character class is present in the game, you just can't even do it. Like if we don't have a ranger and it kills the campaign if nobody can track, then yeah, I'll let you track. But if there's a ranger in the game, you can't track because I think that's stepping on the
Right.
class's
Well,
toes. Then if you got and I've seen that in 5e where everybody buys thieves tools, and so then it's like, okay, why am I a rogue? Because everybody else is running around picking all the
Right.
locks.
Right. No, so, and I'm not, so that's the thing, right, is I also, like, if somebody wants to say, I'm tracking that, but we have a ranger, yeah, I'm going to say, well, you're going to offend your ranger, and also it's going to be a lot harder for you to do that. Not only do you make that role not prime, right, or you don't get to add your level, but you're going to make it not prime, and it's going to be tough for you, right?
Yeah, but that's very much old school, right, where you could tell me what you want to do.
Right.
And the trick is that DK in this case is, all right, so yes, you're not a ranger and you want to track. It's going to be a lot harder for you to do that than if you're a ranger. It's not that you can't do it because everybody can track, right?
Well,
you
yeah, no, and that's the thing is, I mean, I'm going to throw a negative on you. You can't. You're not going to be able to succeed with.
Right. Yeah, it's the thing is, like, that's part of what the CK's job is, right? Is to provide a target number that matches the difficulty, but the difficulty doesn't mean it's necessarily static, right? Now, with some things it is, right? For some things it is, right? The AC is not going to change based on whether you're a fighter or a rogue, right? The AC of a creature. But if it's an actual task, the difficulty could change, right? Depending on who it is. Now, a lot of times it won't, especially at low levels, right? If you're climbing a rock mountain, it's going to be really hard to climb that rock mountain, right? If you don't have tools and you don't have any training, you're probably going to die, right?
Yeah.
Because it's hard, unless you have some kind of ability that lets you do that, and then you still might die. It'll just be less of a chance of you dying. But you know what I'm saying, right? That's part of what the CK does, is figure out what should the challenge be, right? And it's not always the same for every class.
No, then that's the way it should be. That's the beauty of playing this kind of style of game, right? So 5e, and I enjoy playing 5e, but it is very much a numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have the skill and do it, and therefore, whereas this is much more, it's not truly old school, but yeah, you don't have this list of skills. You have some attributes that you can use, right, or abilities.
Right.
Really, there's nothing to stop anybody in the party detecting for traps.
Right.
No, there's not. And
You always have the chance.
technically, in the way the game is set, you could. That's why, make that tough, because again, you're kind of trying to protect someone's ability to be part of the story. And there's so many other things that you could do other than try to horn in on another character's background, turf, and skills and skill set that would be great. It's like, you don't need to do that. That's just kind of a politeness at the table mechanism is the way I kind of think of it as.
Oh, I totally agree, but when you're missing... Right, so we're lucky. We've got a pretty balanced group.
Well, and that's why I say, as long as there's no one at the party. If you don't have anyone in the party that can do that skill, you don't have a ranger, you don't have a thief, well then, yeah, let somebody try it.
Right.
I want to hear
Robert.
Alex's opinion first. Alex.
Yeah, as I said, it's fine. Like, I can see the benefits to either way. I like the idea of protecting the niche of both the character and the human, so keep it where the humans only get the 3 and you don't give it to the class skills. But I can definitely see why it's the house rules there.
Cool. Disagree with all of you.
Really?
You were just waiting for that, right? You were waiting for to calm down, and then you could say, I disagree.
And
That's
you're
nothing
surprised? Okay. I'm actually pretty cool with either of them. And all of it. So humans have 3, and I didn't even, with Rekmit, choose that whole, because had I thought about that house rule, I might not have chosen intelligence as a prime, so I could use it in something else. So I would have had my class checks with that prime. But with Rekmit's character, it works. It's not really a degradation against humans, because they could also choose a class that they have their 3, plus they could have almost up to 4 or 5 where they could get that.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that your class skills, and only really defined in those class skills, can have a lower prime, or the 12 check. But everything else
Oh, yeah.
would be the higher one.
Absolutely.
I actually kind of like that idea, and I have to think about it more, and I'll probably let my mind percolate on in the background, but it's pretty cool. Now, Rekmit, it would have made a difference, because charisma intelligence works with him. I like the he's not a wise, he does crazy shit. Sorry. Crazy stuff that Jake normally tries to stop him from doing. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. I mean, so I'll just say this too. The expectation is you're obviously going to pick, even without the house rule, you're going to pick the 2 that are that you think are the best for your character, right? So when I make that house rule, I'm assuming that the person is still going to pick the 2 that they think are best for that character, right? In other words, Rekmit's not going to pick strength and constitution when he knows that intelligence and charisma are going to be the 2 that are better for his class, because that wouldn't make sense, right?
Right.
So that's part of why. Yeah, you can talk, but that's part of why. I'm just saying, like, that's part of why. It's the same thing as a human should not be choosing the 3 opposite ones from what his class needs just because he gets 3. That would make all 6 of his checks always prime, right? And that's not right
that's
either.
Part of why I put a higher stat in con, because I also knew the dwarf gets extra in con. I chose a lower stat intelligence, but I knew that it would be a prime. So it's how I kind of worked the character and the stats, too.
That's exactly how you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that's
exactly it's not a prime.
And that's the assumption is I'm assuming that you're going to choose to make the best character that you can make, given what you roll. I mean, we're not doing a standard array or anything. You're rolling for your stats, and you're getting to choose where you put them. But I'm assuming you're going to make the best character you can make based on your race and class choice and how you're doing it. But the reason that house rule is there is so that no one is hobbled in something that's supposed to be a class skill. And that's what I began with. That's where my initial idea was. That's why I liked that house rule. I'm sure I heard it from someone else, because I know it's a very common house rule. And so that's why I liked that house rule, was for that very reason. That if I'm supposed to be this class, I'm supposed to be good at it, right? And if I've got an 18 as my target, my base, my challenge base every time, it's going to be hard for me to be good at that ability, and it's supposed to be a class ability. But I had that interesting conversation. It's actually, I didn't say who it was. It was Mike, Retro Gamer Meth, who was having the conversation with me, that made me like start really thinking about this, about whether it really is a good house rule or not. And then then I ended up talking to Richard later on about, we started a conversation about something else. But so that's where this came from. But we haven't heard from Matt. So Matt, what do you think?
He's also on mute. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I got my kids singing in the background, so I didn't want to serenade you guys for noise. So, tell me what the house rule is exactly again.
So the house rule is, if you have a skill, an ability that is a class ability, but it uses an attribute that is not prime for you, when you perform that class ability, because it's a class ability, you get to roll as if the stat was prime for you, just for that ability. Not any other check with that attribute, but just for that ability, because it's a class ability for you. That's the house rule. The other half of that house rule is, if you're attempting a task that's not a class ability of yours, but is a class ability of someone else's, even if the attribute is prime, you don't use it as prime, or you just don't add your level, depending on how it's phrased. But so anyway, go ahead.
I think I think that makes sense, but it's just more for me to keep track of. And like I completely forget to add my level to all my rolls anyway. So like this session, I didn't add my level into any of my rolls. So I mean, if you want to keep track of that, that's great. But otherwise, I don't mind if I fail some rolls or pass some rolls. It's not that big a deal to me. I'm just having fun going along, and if something doesn't work, I'm just going to go to the next thing.
Yeah, I actually
So
have.
I'm pretty easygoing about it.
I have a table, right? Here's my table where I have all your character information. So I know which attributes you all have as prime. And if I need to look, I can glance down and look at what you have as prime. Right?
I'm going to need one of the guys to remind me to add my level next turn.
I mean, I can easily start reminding you to add what you need to add to each roll. That's not a problem.
I constantly forget that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Minor trick fails.
Yeah, I do all the time. It's
Yeah.
I got so used to playing on like fancy grounds and Roll20 that does it automatically.
Yeah.
When you're used to tabletop, like true tabletop, and you're rolling dice, you tend to remember because that's what you do.
Right.
But got lazy over the last year and a half.
Yeah.
Never used to have to think, right? It's like click the button and it does it for you.
All right. Well, I think that is, unless anybody else has another point they'd like to make. This wasn't intended to resolve anything. It was just merely a discussion of that's one of the sort of mechanical things that there are pretty strong feelings for on both sides of the fence.
You might need to get another mic, Samuel, because you're cutting that in and out
real bad? Yeah.
Really bad
Okay.
in the last hour or so.
Yeah. All right. It's probably these. I got these. This is actually new, but I think it doesn't play well with my Yeti microphone. So,
yeah, you said Yeti mic and it cut out.
This is actually new, but I think it just doesn't play well. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and end the stream here, but we're going to raid into someone else. I don't know who, but Troll Lord Games just told me they're going to raid. So everybody, thank you very much for hanging out and watching the stream. And we hope you enjoyed the game and the conversation, and we'll be back. We're going to raid into Lord Gasumba in just a few minutes.
See you later, everybody.
Bye, everyone.